past statements made by Republicans who feel that there isn't enough evidence to impeach the president. Some have changed their minds on that in recent weeks. But the way that this timeline breaks down is that the House Rules Committee is going to consider the resolution that would authorize the impeachment inquiry. House Republicans are expected to vote to approve it. Mind you, this isn't a vote for impeachment, just to allow for the inquiry and more investigative power into that. The president's son has been subpoenaed to appear for a deposition.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff reporting this morning. Former President Donald Trump's 2020 election interference case is headed to the Supreme Court. Special counsel Jack Smith asked the court to decide whether Trump is immune from prosecution in the case. Fox's Mark Meredith reports.
Special counsel Jack Smith essentially wants the Supreme Court to decide once and for all if the former president can be prosecuted on charges he tried to overturn the 2020 election. And Smith wants this decided quickly because Trump's trial on this matter set to begin in under 3 months. In a court filing Monday, the special counsel's office urged the Supreme Court to step in, nullify an appeals process that Trump could use to delay this trial. Now, the Supreme Court has agreed to quickly consider whether or not they'll hear this case. The court has ordered Trump's lawyers to respond to them within the next 8 days. Trump's legal team and his campaign, they are outraged over all of this, still calling the case a political witch hunt.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Consumer prices ticked up last month.
The estimate was it was going to be flat. It actually jumped 0.1%.
Fox Business's Cheryl Castoni.
Year over year, the headline number for CPI in line at 3.1%.
And that was Fox's Cheryl Castoni reporting. I'm Gianna Gelosi. This is Fox News.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
Hey St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Chilly times this afternoon, but not too bad. Kind of typical for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine, 52. Weak, dry, cool front coming by tonight, so there'll be more clouds around, but all is dry. 32 for the low. Wednesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. It's a little colder Wednesday with a northwest flow, 45. Dip it back to 28 Wednesday night, and Thursday, sunny and 49. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Story Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Story Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm. Call today at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
If you're starting to plan that holiday party, get on the schedule now for Grill Master Tony. You know, his holiday party schedule is starting to fill up. Get on the calendar. He does full service catering as well as drop-off service for any size corporate or house party. The brisket, the pulled pork, the ribs, and all the sides. Tony will bring the party to you. You're going to appreciate what he does and the delicious food. Your friends are going to love it. Get online today and order at grillmastertony.com.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Buy them a Stihl. Save $30 on the BG56 CE handheld blower. Go to StihlUSA.com/gift guide. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
If she puts him in jail pending appeal before the election, the country's going to burn. And then all this blowback, all these people say, oh my God, she's calling for violence. I'm not calling for violence, but there is no way the Trump base is not going to be beside itself with anger at that level of deprivation of being able to simply vote for the candidate of choice. That's what's being taken away here.
Stakes are pretty high, wouldn't you say, going into 2024? It's December 12th, which means we're about halfway through, not quite, a third through the month of December, and 2024 is upon us. And the questions continue to mount regarding how the primaries are going to shake out. But more importantly, how are the lawsuits going to shake out? Gregg Jarrett is going to be with us in less than 20 minutes, and we're going to get to the bottom of both the Hunter Biden and Trump investigations and how the Hunter Biden investigations potentially do loop in Joe Biden. It's the big question politically. Of course, criminally, there is an interest for the American people to seek fairness and equal justice under the law for Hunter Biden. We can't live in a civilized society where if you are a member of the royal family, you do not have to abide by the same laws that those who are not must still abide by. However, the political question about Hunter Biden and his connections to Joe Biden still needs to be answered. And I think we're getting a little bit closer to that. I can't wait to ask Gregg Jarrett that in about 15 minutes from now. Listen to Hunter's attorney here.
It's because his last name is Biden, but it's not like they're going after, some distant cousin. It's because he is the son of the president who's named Biden. The Republicans and anybody else that's been investigating on the right-wing media, for example, have tried and tried to say that President Biden has done something wrong. They can't find a shred of evidence because he hasn't. And yet they want this to be an issue. And what they've successfully done, because they go out on the airwaves and people don't understand the difference between truth and misinformation, is basically saying, okay, I can't get the president, so I'll besmirch his son.
I can't wait to get the legal expertise from Gregg Jarrett regarding what was just said there by Hunter's attorney. They can't find a shred of evidence. How is it that we see what James Comer has uncovered, what the House committee has uncovered? How is it that we have seen, we were told before that there wasn't a shred of evidence of any wrongdoing for Hunter Biden. And then the whistleblowers show up, and I think the whistleblowers were dramatically the thing that changed the tide against Hunter Biden. He got this close to getting away with all of it. And the whistleblowers, God bless them, came out and put their name and their face to their testimony, and it changed things. You hear Hunter's attorney here, Abe Lowell, saying there isn't a shred of evidence against Joe Biden. That's just factually not true. Maybe there isn't enough evidence to prove to the American people in the court of public opinion, which is where the political battles are fought in the House of Representatives, as they look to be involved in moving very close to that impeachment inquiry, making it official. That question needs to be answered. And the inquiry will be what uncovers the information that either proves, yes, we have the burden of proof to show the American people and to show the people in the House of Representatives that we do, in fact, want to impeach. Will it go to the Senate and will they convict him? There's going to have to be the most enormous pile of evidence that has ever existed against Joe Biden to get the Senate to impeach him. I can't imagine a scenario where that takes place. However, it is very possible that the mounting evidence that is uncovered during the impeachment inquiry, I mean, maybe even the kind you don't have to manifest like Adam Schiff did against Donald Trump. Maybe even actual real evidence that is shown to the American people instead of just talked about in hidden depositions so that we can watch the guys like Adam Schiff come to the camera and wink, wink, nod, nod. Just wait until you see what we've got on this guy. You got to trust me on this. Well, we're still waiting. Liar. We're going to see what the Republicans have. And if the Republicans go the same way of Adam Schiff, shame on them. If the Republicans go, this smells to high heaven, we cannot conclude this investigation in time to get everything we need to do in order to prove that an impeachment is necessary before the election. And then they gather the evidence, they present it to the American people, and they say, we're going to turn this over to you to make your decision in November. I think that's the likely outcome here. The impeachment inquiry will be voted for and passed. They will do the investigation. They will find the information. It will be presented to the American people. And we'll continue to watch Hunter Biden be in a heap of legal trouble. Is it not jarring to you, the dichotomy of all of the things that they have said and done to Donald Trump? And I'm talking back to 2015 up until now. All of the things that they have accused him of, that the media seized on, the second it was put out there for us to consume, you predetermine your hatred for Donald Trump. All of these things must be true. And you know what? If it turns out that 20% is true, that's enough to make sure that you still hate the guy. And then the next story comes up and you seize on that because you can't stand him. And you need these things to be true. And if they're not entirely true, they're probably enough true. Or you know what? At the end of the day, he's just still a really bad guy. Flip the switch. Everything they say on the Republican side about Hunter Biden and potentially Joe Biden, which is the connection that matters the most to the American people, can't possibly be true. Not a shred of evidence. There's not a shred of evidence that President Joe Biden never did anything unethical. Not a shred of evidence. There are a lot of things that any person with two brain cells to rub together would look at and go, that's kind of fishy. And here's the thing. I've said this before. If you were to explain some of the things to, man on the street in New York City, we see those things on Jesse Waters from time to time. I love man on the street interviews. It reminds me of what we're dealing with, so to speak. But if you were to explain the allegations that exist in the Hunter Biden family, and you didn't name any names, and you went to 100 Joe Schmoes and Jane Schmains, and you said, what would you say if I told you there was a wealthy family, been in politics for over 5 decades, well-connected, very good with the people, risen to high levels in American government? What would you say if I told you that they've used their position to enrich their family members and themselves on the side, peddling influence? I'm pretty sure that more than 50% of those people would probably list off 3, 4, 5, 6 different families, if they could name them, of who you might be talking about. And if they couldn't name families, it's probably because they're disgusted with government to the extent they don't, A, understand it, or B, care to understand it, because they just assume that everybody in Washington, D.C. is doing this kind of stuff. That's not the accurate assessment of the situation. But the idea that somehow or another Joe Biden has been in government for as long as he has been, that Hunter Biden, who is a drug addict, who is a fiend in certain scenarios, who is somebody who has had a very, very rough life, tragedy happening at a very young age, living in the shadow of a very powerful man, becomes connected around the world with some of our not so friendly business partners in a political sense, starts enriching himself on a board that has to do with energy of which he has no experience, and he's pocketing 5 figures of money every month. And his family is cashing checks from countries and businesses in China, deals that are made after he flies over an Air Force Two with his father. You say all this stuff, nobody. Leave the names out of it. Leave the political parties out of it. Nobody who pays attention to the fact that politics are pretty unsavory for the majority of Americans. They think there's a separation between the people who rule and the people who are ruled. You explain this scenario to most people, they're gonna just assume the corruption exists. And if you listen to the people who are trying to get our attention as far away from Joe Biden and Hunter Biden as possible, there's not a shred of evidence. Well, that's baloney sausage. And you know it, and I know it, and the people who don't know anything about it know it. There's something there. We need to get to the bottom of it, and we need to understand the gravity of it, because I'm here to remind Republicans, it might not grow to the extent that you're hoping to, where he goes down, the whole Biden family and the Obama family and the Clinton, they all go down in a heap of flames. That might not happen. We don't need that to happen in order to right the ship for the United States of America. We have to get back to where people understand that the ruling class is the people, not the rich, wealthy heiress families who make it to Washington, D.C. to rule us. That's not the way we do things here, at least not until it is. So we step in the way and we ask questions and we get answers and we go where those answers lead us. You can't predetermine on the right what you need the outcome to be. You have to wait for the answers and the facts. It's something that the left was not willing to do with Donald Trump. They predetermined the outcome and did everything they could possibly dream of to get us there. That's a classic ends justifies the means mentality, and it is toxic in politics, and it is really like foundational to politics. What do you need out of this? How do we get to there? If you're willing to check at the door any ethical foundation that you need to have in order to figure out what those means are to get you to where you need to be, we're in big trouble. And we're way past that. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll for today is, will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? You got 4 answers today. Yes, it will be. No Trump, no Biden, or neither of them. What will it be? Because we are facing a scenario, like Megyn Kelly said, if Chutkan, who I believe is the Washington, D.C. judge, I think, decides to put Donald Trump in jail pending appeal, is this a possibility? Is this something that this judge would actually do? Megyn Kelly says that the country will burn. Boy, we've burned this country down for people that have not been in as powerful positions as Donald Trump. What happens then? I pray that we keep our wits about ourselves and we fight at the ballot box. But there's a lot of people who think that that's not a fair fight either. And if Hunter Biden continues to be in the trouble, the legal trouble that it is, that we assume he is going to be in some significant legal trouble, Does that embark Joe Biden on a path to pardoning Hunter Biden, which would, in my opinion, likely lead to him withdrawing from the race? That seems to me to be the likely outcome in front of us before Hunter Biden can be exposed anymore. And Lord knows who else that wraps up into the potential investigations that exist into where the money was coming in and how it was going out. If Hunter Biden receives a pardon from his father, of which I would not blame Joe Biden for pardoning him. He is, after all, a very loving father. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll and tell us what you are expecting right now. Trump v. Biden. Is that what it's going to be? You go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you join us there, and let us know what you think. Leave a comment as to why you think the way you think. Chris says, the poll is a hard one. I said no Biden, but was stuck between that and yes. So Chris is with me. I say no Biden. I'm not ready to say no Trump yet. But time will tell, and things could drastically change at any time. Chris says, Trump versus definitely not Biden. Kind of worried about who, though. Come comment. Leah's watching the comments as they come in on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Vote. Let us know what you think. And let's get to the bottom of both of these concerns. Hunter Biden's legal concerns and Trump investigations with Gregg Jarrett when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
He turned to me as if to say, hurry boy, it's waiting there for you. Gonna take a lot to drag me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. I guess the rain's down in Africa. We're gonna take some time to do the things we never had.
RulerFoods.com. Guys, we're going to be there tomorrow in St. Charles at the Ruler Foods right there in St. Charles on West Clay Street. Will you please come see us? I'm begging. I'm literally begging you to come see us. We were given, I'm so excited about this. We were given from Ruler Foods $1,000 to go shopping tomorrow. And we did this last year. It was so funny and so amazing. We sent Ryan Wiggins in like supermarket showdown style, and we're going to do that tomorrow. And if you want to come by and shop or donate foods, we want that. That's what we want. But if you want to donate cash to add to Ruler Foods $1,000 tomorrow, you can do that. But he's going to shop at 2:00. He does. If he's listening right now, this is the first time he's heard of this. Hey Ryan, I need you to come in here. I need to explain something. I think I just did. Ruler Foods is a great place to go grocery shopping because you save. This is one of my favorite reasons why we do this food drive at Ruler Foods, because your dollar is going to stretch further to bless more people. If you're looking to bless your own pantry, which the Frey family is always doing, 6 mouths to feed, one of them's almost 14, he never stops eating. I have to go to Ruler Foods so I can afford to feed him. And if you're looking to save on your grocery bill as well, find the Ruler Foods closest to you, but make sure you come to the Ruler Foods in St. Charles tomorrow between noon and 3 and donate to a great cause. RulerFoods.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AA MCO.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments. And get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, my lady, it's been grand, but I think I've got to be going.
No, you can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been.
So happy
Follow
that
Annie
you
on Twitter
stay.
at Annie Frey Show.
Oh, hold your hands, they feel like
My mother will start to worry.
beautiful. What's the
And father
hurry?
will be pacing the floor.
Listen to the fireplace
So
roar.
really I'd better scurry. But maybe just a half a drink more.
Put the record on while I
But the
pour.
neighbors might think.
Baby, it's
Well, he's already
bad
tipped his hand because he already ruled against Trump on one of the 7 causes of action before the trial started. I think he's going to find against Trump on many or all of the remaining counts. He's shown no interest, no buying into Donald Trump's defenses. And then the big question is, what's the penalty? How much money? How much of the $250 million that the Attorney General is seeking? And most importantly, will the judge revoke Donald Trump's business certificates? I think that this judge is going to drop the hammer on Donald Trump, and then he will get to appeal.
CNN's Honig saying that Trump's going to get the hammer in New York. Of course, there are appeals that are going to come after that, but the stakes are very high. And as we've heard from a lot of people who are assessing where the Donald Trump situation is, specifically in this New York trial, the fraud trial, where they, ruled on the fraud before the trial commenced, and then it was essentially an opportunity to find out, how severe is the consequence going to be for this action. That it's to break Donald Trump. It's to keep him from being able to function and to be successful, and then limit his ability to actually do what he needs to do to become the president of the United States. Jonathan Turley reacted as well. Let's listen to him.
Well, it's not that this has never been attempted before, but it is not the regular order of things. Smith had just filed, or this matter was just filed before the D.C. Circuit. And then he decided that he wanted to leapfrog over the Court of Appeals and go directly to the Supreme Court. The only reason for that is that he is really focused entirely on trying Trump during this campaign and trying to convict him before the election.
When you think about the efforts that are being made and piled on right now, occupying Donald Trump's time. Now, if he did the crime, he's going to do the time. I don't think that in any of these jurisdictions that he is going to be able to evade the the consequences of his actions should he be convicted of them. But they're throwing everything at the wall with Donald Trump, and they are making sure that they can get him somewhere, and if not that, make sure that he no longer will be in a position to effectively run for president. Let's speak to our guest, Gregg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst and author of the book, a great, great gift, especially for your history lovers out there or those who need to love history a little bit more, The Constitution and Other Patriotic Documents. You can get it now. Gregg, thanks for joining us today. It's good to have you.
Hey, Annie, good to be with you. Thank you.
Of course. I want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit about, I played here a clip from CNN's Elie Honig, and he was talking about how he expects the New York judge to drop the hammer on Trump. I'm wondering if that's what you think is going to happen in that fraud case as well.
Well, it's true that this is a judge who is incredibly biased against Trump, together with Letitia James, the Attorney General of the state of New York, who brought this absurd case based on a consumer protection statute where no consumer has been harmed. The bank that lent Trump the money want to do it again. They were so happy with the $100 million that they made in profit. But this is a judge who has already decided before the trial began, without hearing any evidence or testimony from witnesses, that Trump committed fraud. And that decision undermines about 150 years of common law that says you have to show that somebody intended to make a false statement or deceive someone. Well, this is a judge who said, well, I think under the statute we don't have to show that, so I hereby declare Trump to have committed fraud. I don't see this sort of thing standing up on appeal for that reason, but also because, this is a case that is arguably unconstitutional. Trump is protected under the First Amendment. Commercial speech, simply making an incorrect statement is not actionable. It's protected by the First Amendment and all of the cases that interpret commercial speech. So I just don't see this case standing up, but I do think it is a case that is a prime example of a prosecutor who ran on the campaign promise of getting Trump, and by hook or by crook, she's trying to do that.
We're speaking with Gregg Jarrett, Fox News legal analyst and former defense attorney and law professor. We have seen the request for the Supreme Court to rule on Trump's immunity, if that actually exists. Can you narrow down for us which case that might apply to, or cases that might apply to, and how rapidly something like that actually is processed?
Well, this arises out of the Washington, D.C. special counsel Jack Smith January 6th case, in which he claims Trump tried to subvert an election and committed fraud against the government. The defense says, wait a minute, everything Trump did is protected under governmental immunity statutes. The trial court judge rejected it. Trump's lawyers said, all right, we're immediately appealing to the Middle Appellate Court, D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. But yesterday, Jack Smith went to the U.S. Supreme Court and said, I want to leapfrog over the middle court and go right to you. Since then, the Supreme Court, and people are getting this wrong, saying, the Supreme Court has decided to take the case. No, they haven't. They told Trump's lawyers, respond to this request by Jack Smith, file some papers in the next several days that we can consider the request. So the Supreme Court hasn't taken the case, but it's pretty clear to me that Jack Smith fears that the delay of a typical appellate review would interfere with his plans to gain a conviction before the election. And frankly, that smacks of election interference itself.
Well, Gregg Jarrett, we don't want to take too much of your time here. We know that you have to run. I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about your book, The Constitution and Other Patriotic Documents. There's a lot of questions being thrown around right now about what is constitutional and what isn't constitutional, especially with the office of the president. What do you want to let people know about this book that you put together, why you decided now would be a good time to put this out?
Well, I think young people, particularly in our education system, are not taught basic civics and government. And I hope that readers can rediscover what made America a beacon of liberty and prosperity and justice throughout the world. And you will find in this book not just our founding documents, but 65 of the most important letters and speeches and addresses by some of the greatest leaders in our country's history. And you can read all of these documents, many of which changed the course of history. These are inspiring words and galvanizing ideas that shaped America, our virtues, our aspirations, our ideals. And I think in particular, I would say to people, it's a great Christmas gift, but don't buy one, buy two, and give one to your child's teacher. Because, this needs to be taught. Young people these days, I think, would flunk a basic civics test. And we've done segments, Man on the Street, and we've asked fundamental questions about the Constitution, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, the Cold War, and everybody flunks. And these are such easy questions, and I blame our education system. So, I do hope that this book, the Constitution and other patriotic documents, helps to re-educate America. What a great country we are blessed to live in.
Yeah, that is a great teacher gift. I highly endorse that. As somebody who's married to a teacher, get the book instead of the Starbucks gift card for that teacher, and they'll love it. If they put it on their shelf, maybe even. You never know.
Yeah, my sister's a teacher as well, and she loved the book not just because she loves me, but she really thought it had tremendous value for, all age groups. So, Christmas gift.
Sounds great. Gregg Jarrett, thank you for the time today. We're grateful for it.
Annie, good to be with you as always. Take care.
You as well. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye. Fox News legal analyst and former defense attorney and law professor, author of The Constitution and Other Patriotic Documents, which you can get right now. I recommend it. We need more of that to be out and about, and consider it for a Christmas gift. If you're looking for something for the right person, that book might be the thing. Let's take a quick break. We'll have Ryan come back in studio here, Wiggins America, in just a few minutes. A reminder that tomorrow we will be at Ruler Foods on West Clay Street in St. Charles from noon to 3. Ryan Wiggins is going to shop at 2 o'clock with the $1,000 seed money that we have gotten from Ruler Foods to shop at Ruler Foods to benefit the St. Louis Area Food Bank. And we would love to add your donations in canned goods and food goods. You can go into Ruler Foods and shop right there, put it in the big bins that we'll have out there, and let's bless people with our own actions. Feels good, makes your heart warm. Let's do it tomorrow from noon to 3. Ryan Wiggins with Wiggins America in studio when we come back.
The answer is no.
But maybe it's cold outside.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
My sister will be suspicious. My brother will be there at the floor.
Waves upon the tropical
My friends, well, their minds are vicious. Or maybe just a cigarette more.
Never such a blizzard before.
I've got to get home.
Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com. If you are looking to make sure that you're not overpaying for the heating and cooling repair, probably heating repair, that you have been quoted as a business, reach out to Air Comfort Service. They're there to give you a free second opinion. Don't spend more than you have to, and make sure that the correct thing is, in fact, being repaired. I have had Air Comfort Service out to my house multiple times when we have had issues, and I have been very satisfied with the customer service from the amazing techs that come out. I hope that's the right phrase for what they do. They're so kind, they're very knowledgeable, they're quick, they're respectful, and I'd have them back again and again for any HVAC needs that I have in my house. They also work to set you up with the best in rebates, the best in financing in the business to make sure that if you do have a costly repair or replacement, which I have had to do, that it is workable for you in your budget. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital, there are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join 97.1 FM Talk and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
The Annie Frey Show 12 Days of Cardinals giveaways continues today with a weekend pack. So 5 games, 2 tickets, 1 pair of tickets to each weekend game.
Very clear.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll explain it more if you win.
No, 1 pair. It's 2 tickets. That'll come up
partridge in a pear
within 60 minutes. So we're going to do it a little earlier today. Stick around for sometime in the next 60 minutes. We're going to give away that weekend pack to Cardinals games in 2024. In the 1 o'clock hour, 12:41 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is where real local and national accountability happens. This is 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
She said it's cold outside and she hands me my raincoat. She's always worried about things like that. Well, she said it's all gonna end and it might as well be my fault. And she only sleeps when it's raining.
We know that the economy was good under Donald Trump, right? But what we need to also remember was we went $9 trillion in debt during that same time, and we are paying the price for that.
Nikki Haley making the case that she's the antidote or the next step in the question of what Republicans need to do politically. She's the next thing. She's the next iteration of Donald Trump. She's got nice things to say about him, but she's also got criticisms, and she wants to be the person. She's doing well in New Hampshire. She just got Chris Sununu's endorsement in New Hampshire. That's probably good in New Hampshire, but that's probably the only place that's good. I don't know that anyone's like, Sununu? Nikki Haley? All right, she's got my vote. I just can't imagine that. We want to know what you think about 2024 in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube poll. It's the live broadcast right now in the live chat, and let us know what you think and leave your comments.
Wiggins! Oh, Wiggins! Well, she's not wrong. Trump did spend some money, and we would have seen some inflation from that, for sure. But then we had a president who said, I see what you did. I'll double it. Let me go double down on that.
But the way you got to do it, though, is you got to double it right away and then slowly lessen the amount that you increased it, but you're still in an increase, and then you talk about reducing the deficit.
That's right. That's exactly the playbook. It's very, very smart.
Steve Moore said it's like an alcoholic that drinks a case of beer a day, and then now they're like, I only drink 80% of a case of beer a day. And you're like, you're doing great.
Yeah, great job, bud. Thank you, and we're all feeling the effects of that. This report is kind of making some headlines today. I figured I'd start with this one. Inflation slowed to a 3.1 annual rate in November. Now, the key word there that I think they want you to hear is slowed.
I was going to say, that's not the report that I heard.
Yeah, inflation slowed to a 3.1. Now, they're comparing that, of course, to its peak, which they also created. And so it has come down off of the peak of inflation, which is good. But at this point, inflation was so bad the last couple of years that this should be an opportunity for you to get to, if you're ever going to get there, to something like even or negative inflation. And they haven't even gotten it back to its normal rate, because 3.1 is still a little bit above a normal inflation rate, which is usually about 2 or 3 in a normal year. So that's making the headlines. Prices across a broad range of goods and services edged higher in November, but were mostly in line with expectations. So the market is reacting to that today.
Fox News says inflation rises.
Well, it did rise.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what you're comparing it to. So if you're comparing it to when it was at 10% or over a couple of years it would have been double that, then it's slowed.
Well, and then I was listening to Chris Santelli on CNBC, and he says inflation compounds. So even at 3%, you're still compounding on the previous inflationary numbers. So it's not like it's like you were saying, you need to get to that negative inflation number to bring things back down. You can't just keep having positive.
What's next?
The next story?
Yes.
Why are gas prices finally coming down a bit? It's related to that one. The answer is twofold. One, oil prices are outrageously high, and they have been for long enough now during Biden's term that you finally have other players getting into the market because they're like, look, the regulatory environment's terrible, but the price of oil has been so high that finally they're starting to step in, which is what you wanted the whole time. You want that to happen. Usually do that through deregulation. But the other is, according to this article here, that the oil boom that we're having and the price falling is because of a softening economy, which isn't what you want.
Where's the article from?
This is from Odyssey. It says the oil market is increasingly sensitive to indications and suggestions that the economic landscape continues to ease. Quincy Crosby, chief global strategist for LPL Financial, told Business Insider.
So it's from Business Insider.
Well, ultimately, they sourced it from them. Weaker crude prices are reflective of a softening economy. Now, the weird thing that they highlight is that the White House isn't highlighting the record oil production, though, because they're in kind of a tight spot, as you can imagine. Why would they? They don't necessarily want credit with their green energy people for increasing oil production, yet they want the credit for the gas prices coming down. So they're in kind of a weird position. Next one. Americans are getting plastic surgery in Tijuana a lot less than they used to. The number of Americans getting nipped and tucked in Tijuana is dropping due to fears of local cartel violence. So, if you've ever considered getting... Have you ever looked into this whole industry? Because it fascinates me, the medical tourism industry. I don't know that I ever have looked into it enough to consider it because it scares me. But it's something that apparently, like, some of the wealthiest people do is they travel to get sometimes cosmetic surgeries, as in this story is talking about.
I don't think it's the wealthiest people.
No? You think it's middle-class people doing it?
Why do you think it's the wealthiest people who are going to Tijuana to get a butt lift?
Well, I think, maybe not Tijuana. That's right across the border. But I always hear that Thailand is a big place to go for
the wealthy?
Yeah, for medical treatments and like a lot of cosmetic stuff.
Where do you hear this from?
I've just read.
Who
I've
are
read
you
it.
talking to?
Well, my wealthy friends who are very, very attractive, they say, well, I got this in Thailand. Now, apparently, though, Tijuana is one of the main places that people go. They jump the border there, but that observers say turf battles between the Jalisco New Generation and Sinaloa cartels and other groups, like remnants of the old Arellano Felix gang, are largely to blame for controlling so much more of these cities than they used to. Big yes on medical tourism. Anybody in the room?
No.
I don't think that's where wealthy people to go get their. It's like the actual opposite.
Yeah.
It's where you go to get discount work done.
That's right. Whenever I was
Which is why you have to avoid the cartels.
When I was in Mexico on a mission trip, I saw a lot of...
You got a butt lift?
No. No.
You can be open about it.
No. Anybody who's seen me knows that's not true. Anyway, everything was like dental implants, and it's like where elderly people who are on fixed incomes went to get dental implants.
Are they wealthy?
No.
You know,
What are you talking about?
After I said
mean,
that,
honestly, I don't even know what you're talking about.
the story, it's just that apparently this big industry of people crossing into Tijuana to get plastic surgery has been hurt by cartels. That's the headline. The people and for me
Where
to assume,
will those wealthy people go now?
for me to assume that those people are all very wealthy, I'll admit, is probably erroneous on my part. If you're going to Tijuana for a butt lift. Next one. This state cusses more than any other. And before we put in our guesses here, they looked into this. Here's how they did it. It was a casino research platform that used posts from specific states all over the country. And they didn't look at it just based on the state's population. They did it per capita. How many people are cussing in their online posts? And they gave us the top 10. I can tell you that Texas was number 1 at 6.9 curse words per post in their research.
Does it matter that Texas has a lot more people?
I think that's why I was saying I think they did it per capita.
Okay.
Because some of the states on here are definitely not as populous. Where do you think? Well, I only have the top 10 here. So, do you think Illinois or Missouri are on this list, just based on personal experience?
I cuss all the time, so.
On social media?
No, not on social media.
This is on social media.
This is
right?
on social media.
Illinois is going to be 5.
Okay, good guess.
I don't know. Missouri, I guess, would be
4.
I'm going to say. Really? I was going to say
I'm just
10,
trying to win
10.
one damn thing for the state of Illinois over Missouri. Sorry. Mom and Dad.
The answer is that Illinois did not make the top 10, but Missouri did.
That's because we're better.
So
I wish
congratulations.
I had a beep sound drop right now. I'd have a day.
Yeah, Illinois is not in the top 10, but Missouri is. Missouri comes in just below Texas, Ohio, Florida, and Tennessee.
Illinois probably fixed that vote too. So it's probably not even accurate.
Number 5, 6.1 curse words per post is what this seems really high to me. So I don't know exactly what they're using or if they're looking at particular people. But
6 curse words per post?
that's what it says. It says Texas is 6.9 curse words per post.
Wow.
Ohio is
You only have
6.7.
240 characters.
I don't think I know 6 curse words.
You must be using the same ones over and over. They asked them
They are diverse.
which ones are the most common, and they said, well, the S word is the most common.
Sugar.
Tied for second were F and a variant of that word. And they found that the average American swears 21 times per day, but over half use substitute words or phrases like fudge.
So they took social media posts, and they found that in Texas, people use 6 curse words per post?
Yes, almost 7. Almost 7 in Texas. That's what it says.
Who said this?
This is a casino research platform
What does that even mean?
called Bonus Finder.
It's just the wealthy in Texas, though.
Yeah.
It's actually just the wealthy who got butt lifts in Mexico.
It's a
that
very,
swear
very small
6 times
subsection.
per post.
Yeah. It did not make them happier.
I wonder why
apparently.
they're swearing.
Yeah. They can't get it lifted as much as they used to because of the cartels. Iowa came in at 5.2, Indiana, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Idaho
It's like the Midwest.
round out the top 10. Last story, talking about traveling for the holidays.
Last story.
TSA predicts that holiday travel is going to be an absolute nightmare this year.
Unlike last year was the worst travel of ever. They stopped flying.
Yeah, God help you if you try to drive or fly or take a train or a boat in this country.
Just walk.
Just, yeah. Bicycle or
God
walk.
gave you 2 legs.
Right. They say, please don't forget to pack your patience.
Oh, that's always helpful. If you are on the way to a stressful situation, it's very helpful if someone tells you to pack your patience, because it changes the whole mindset of the person who is getting stressed. You're like,
Yeah.
I forgot to do that.
Yeah, in
Thank
that
you for
moment,
reminding me.
You just go,
I'll bring an extra
Oh.
carry-on.
It's funny. It's fun. I'm having fun.
I got your carry-on right here.
TSA tweeted, "Our officers are working hard to keep people safe during this busy travel season, but please don't forget to pack your patience."
Oh, that's so special.
TSA also sent out a video on social media that included agents asking that air travelers remain polite and respectful to staff members.
I just asked the airlines to remain flying.
Yes. That really solves a lot of the problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can just
Pack
kind of
your
get through
engines.
things.
Fire them up.
They even acknowledged in this article, it's not a surprising request as 2023 proved another turbulent year for flyers.
Turbulent.
Yeah, it's good. Because if you remember, even at the beginning, it was this beginning of this year that Southwest had all those problems. I think they had more of them in the middle of the year, but this has been a bad year for multiple airlines. And then they
It was
say
Christmas when they had them.
Yeah, I remember it being a big January story for some reason because it was right after Christmas, I guess.
Are you new?
Leah, you want to take this over?
What's happening?
I'm trying to fit it into this year.
What?
You know? So I was saying, well, it was
Wait.
January because it was after Christmas, but that's still 2023. I'm trying to do a 2023 story here.
Does it matter?
Yeah, well,
Why?
I thought it did in my head. I'm like, this needs to be this year.
Did you read any of these before you came on air with them?
No, I thought it'd be fun to just come in cold.
Fun for you. You did. And it is cold.
It is very cold. This has been a segment best served cold, as is revenge. Thank you very much for listening to Wiggins America. And we will be back at the same time, same bad time tomorrow for even more great stories like this.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe.
sure about that. I really am not. But I am hoping. Thank you.
15 seconds. You take this one right home.
No, that's fine.
Jim Carafano coming up, unless he decided also to opt out.
Which he might.
I'm going to ask him about Tijuana.
Please do.
The cartels,
Ask him if it's wealthy people doing it.
butt lifts. Jim Carafano next.
At Neoviten, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neoviten Omega-3 supplement. Neoviten Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neoviten Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neoviten Omega-3 subscription at neoviten.com today.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about Lakeside Renovation and Design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
This is a great time of year to examine your health, and one of the ways to do that is visit Fountains Family Dentistry, fountainfamilydentistry.com. I talk a lot about not just their services as a dentist. You know, you got to get your teeth cleaned, you got to do the stuff, but their sleep medicine. It is a retainer that you wear at night that can solve your sleep apnea like it has mine. I have a great testimony for this because I've been using it for about 15 years, and I still sleep great, mainly because of this thing. Now, it doesn't necessarily solve all of my snoring. Sometimes I still snore, but the thing is, you can still adjust that thing so that if you know, man, I'm not feeling great, I can adjust my little mouth guard and I can get a great night's sleep tonight. That is what's great about having one of these things. And I swear by it. I won't even travel without it. I sleep with it even with naps. Get one if you snore, if you think you might have sleep apnea, or if you're just feeling tired during the day. They can help you walk you through the process of this thing. Go to fountainfamilydentistry.com.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The way to win the war. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. Only with U.S. help, says Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, making a personal pitch to Congress and the president, with Republicans more intent on securing the U.S. border first.
Senate Leader Chuck Schumer says President Volodymyr Zelensky made it clear that he needs help.
But if he gets the help, he can win this war.
Zelensky met behind closed doors with members of the Senate, where a heated debate continues about funding for Ukraine. Democrats want Congress to pass President Biden's emergency aid package that exceeds $100 billion and includes funding for Ukraine, Israel, and the U.S. southern border. Republicans, though, have made it clear they won't back a package that doesn't include changes to the nation's border policies. Negotiations are still ongoing, and Schumer says he's urging Speaker Johnson to keep the House in session next week if there's no deal. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
House Speaker Johnson explaining why the House will take a vote to formalize an impeachment inquiry into President Biden and foreign payments to the Biden family.
We've come to this impasse where following the facts where they lead is hitting a stone wall because the White House is impeding that investigation now. They're not allowing witnesses to come forward and thousands of pages of documents.
While Hunter Biden is expected in California court soon for his new indictment on federal tax charges.
From a summer plea deal that would have ended Hunter Biden's legal troubles to a winter fight on multiple fronts. It's been quite a reversal of fortunes for the president's son. His legal team arguing in a Delaware court this week that his federal gun possession case should be dismissed because even if a judge balked at the previous plea agreement, prosecutors and Hunter Biden himself had signed it. And the lawyers accused prosecutors of bowing to political pressure to pursue charges against Hunter Biden, which is the same argument they continue to make over his West Coast legal fight, where he faces the most serious charges, 9 tax-related counts, including 3 felonies.
America is listening to Fox News.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at Untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at Untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Chilly times this afternoon, but not too bad. Kind of typical for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine, 52. Weak, dry, cool front coming by tonight, so there'll be more clouds around, but all is dry. 32 for the low. Wednesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. It's a little colder Wednesday with a northwest flow, 45. Dip it back to 28 Wednesday night, and Thursday, sunny and 49. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Join me, Mark Reardon, and the 97.1 FM Talk team for a night of purpose at the inaugural Give Back Trivia Night on January 5th at the Moolah Shrine Center. Be a beacon of hope for children. Reserve your table now at 971talk.com/events.
Men, suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Paramount Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
When it comes to finding the perfect grill, family-owned and operated Cotton's Ace Hardware has you covered. Get free delivery and free fuel on any grills over $300, and free assembly and haul away of your old grills with the purchase of a new one. With a selection from Weber to Traeger and your local retailer of the Big Green Egg, Cotton's Ace Hardware makes it easier than ever to replace your old grill. Let Cotton's Ace Hardware make your family barbecue more enjoyable with that one-of-a-kind grill you've been looking for. Find your nearest St. Louis area location at cottonsace.hardware.com.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews, and if invasive plants and trees have overtaken your pasture, roads, trails, or dams, then you need Missouri Brush Control. Their special forestry mulching equipment helps landowners reclaim their property. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. To learn more, visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan. In celebration of McKelvey Homes' 125th anniversary, we are having our biggest sale of the year. Save up to $89,000. Get special financing in the fives and free closing costs on all move-in ready homes. Visit The Preserve on McKenzie Road near Watson, a beautiful community with 4 lakes, nature trails, and wooded home sites. We have a variety of homes from the 400s, including our villa and estate homes. Don't miss this opportunity to save big and get in before the holidays. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
If you're trying to sell your home, there's only one group of agents in town I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Check out thegelmanteam.com.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, there are a number of things. First, what we've seen coming from the Houthis directed at ships in that area is a threat not just to Israel, not just to us, but to dozens of countries that are engaged in shipping, that depend on this corridor for goods moving about every single day. And this has actually implicated the interests directly of well over a dozen countries, with crews from all sorts of different places, ships registered and insured in different places. So this should be and is an international concern.
Yeah, an international concern there, according to Secretary Blinken. You keep hearing this word be said, that if you're not an expert on these types of things, it's a kind of a new player to the game, at least to the mainstream conversation that we're having regarding what's going on in the Middle East. And we keep, once again today, hear about an attack from the Houthis. They're Iran-backed, but we're going to ask our friend Jim Carafano to talk to us a little bit more about what is taking place in the Middle East, outside of course, Hamas attacking Israel. Welcome to the show, Jim Carafano. Great to have you back with us. The story continues to develop, and we want your insight on it.
So Houthis are not a new dance craze. So so Yemen is a small country that is on the end of kind of the peninsula with Saudi Arabia, and it's so amorphous that the actual border between Saudi Arabia and Yemen isn't clear because it's just desert. So a part of the country rebelled. And these are the Houthis, so it's an ethnic group, deeply connected with folks like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, much radicalized, and the main sponsor and the person who's been sending them weapons are Iran. And the Houthis, I mean, this is not, you know, guys with AK-47s. These are people with a military force, including long-range missiles that they've actually fired at cities in Saudi Arabia. So, so this civil war has been going on for a real long time. The Biden administration stepped in and said, "Oh, well, we're going to bring peace to the region, and we need to normalize things. So we will take the Houthis, who had been designated as a terrorist organization, off the list of being terrorists. So now they can negotiate like normal people, right? Well, of course, they're still terrorists, and they're still backed by Iran. So when the war against Israel started, the Houthis started firing at ships in the Red Sea and trying to fire missiles and UAVs across the Red Sea to attack Israel. So what's interesting about this is not a week before the massacre on October 7th, Jake Sullivan was actually on TV talking about how fantastic the Biden administration had done with bringing peace to the region and engaging Iran, and how Yemen is the quietest it had been in years. And now we have an existential war against Israel, over 1,000 people, 1,200 people killed in the most brutal way, massive destruction in Gaza, the Iranians promoting their surrogates in Iraq and Syria attacking U.S. bases, and we have the Houthis in Yemen essentially waging war on not just Israel, but any ships that they don't like in the Red Sea, which, by the way, is an act of war. So this would be like people saying, Hannibal Lecter's been such a good neighbor. Let's have him over for dinner and see what happens.
Jim Carafano with us. He's a senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. I hear, Houthis is one of the things that I've heard a little bit more frequently because they continue to make attacks on players who are over in the Middle East. Who are the big players? Map out for us. Who are the leaders on each side of this conflict? And I guess how many sides are there?
Well, that's a great question. So, you have to start with Iran because Iran is the great funder and instigator of this. They have their roots into, if you think of Assad in Syria, only still in power because of the Iranians and the Russians. The turmoil in Iraq fomented out of Iran, the war against Israel, the threats to the shipping of the Gulf states, the funding of, even by the U.S. even by the Biden administration, Iran remains and has been consistent through 4 presidents the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, and it's still true. There are Iranian agents in Europe, in Latin America, in the U.S. today that are being tracked down who are organizing terrorist plots. So Iran is absolutely the centerpiece of all things evil in the region. And we often hear this term Sunni and Shia, which are different branches of the Muslim religion. And famously, they would say, well, people like bin Laden and Al Qaeda and ISIS were Sunni, and yet their biggest sponsor is Iran. So Iran dramatically supports radical extremists in the region, in Africa, in other parts of Central Asia. Israel's really the stalwart on the other side. I mean, the one country, because it's so small and so different, that can't tolerate bullying because it threatens their very existence is Israel. Then you have the Gulf states. You hear this term a lot. So Saudi Arabia is the biggest, but also you have Qatar and the United Arab Emirates and also Kuwait. These smaller countries, which are all oil rich, which means that they have a tremendous amount of wealth, moderately sized armies. Interestingly, they all both are close to the United States. Qatar, for example, hosts the largest U.S. military base in the region. But they also, have, relationships with Iran because on the one hand, they don't like the Iranians, but on the other hand, they try to kind of ameliorate relations with them. Then you have, smaller countries that are just near basket cases like Lebanon and, Syria, which actually don't function as countries. And then you have, Jordan, which is a small state that's kind of wedged in the middle of that, which is really kind of a keystone state. And on the other end, you have Egypt, which is a very large country, struggles economically, tries to remain relatively moderate and secular, but also has a strong extreme presence. You probably have the term Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood are political radical groups that believe in that may not personally support things like ISIS and Al-Qaeda, but they believe in the same political agenda, and they're spread throughout the region, including Egypt. And then when we often don't talk about it as the greater Middle East, people forget that the Middle East sits on top of parts of North Africa. So you have Tunisia, Libya, both basket cases at the moment, Morocco, Sudan, a complete disaster. And so you can't really talk about these things, absent of each other. So it's a big, very complex region. And what we've seen Russia tries to meddle there, the Chinese try to meddle there. And this is where people don't get about the U.S. is, look, we don't want to be in the region. We don't want to be the world's policeman. But the region isn't stable enough to kind of police itself. But it's very, very important. It's called the Middle East for a reason. It's the middle of everything.
Right.
Not just oil. And people say, well, we don't need the oil. Well, because we're a net exporter. But it doesn't matter. Everybody we do business with in the world needs their oil. So if you shut off the Middle East oil, the world economy grinds to a halt. So oil, all the transportation routes go through there. Financial routes go through there. If you're worried about mass migration, that goes through the Middle East. So a stable Middle East is good for the United States. And we don't want to be in there running the place, not our job, but we want to support the stability, because the answer is if we don't do that, nobody else has the strength or gravitas to do that. The Russians, the Chinese, they can meddle, but they can only make things worse. The Europeans, they can only make things worse. And if you're going to deal with the big bear in the room, which is Iran, the only country that can really keep Iran down is the U.S. And that's why we play such a key and pivotal role.
So I was following along as you were explaining this on a map, and I'm looking at Iran, and they have a very strong strategic position in all of those things that you listed as to why the Middle East is important. Why are they so invested in the instability of the region?
Because it's a zero-sum game. What's bad for everybody else is good for Iran. I mean, you have to remember in the 70s under Jimmy Carter, when the Shah was overthrown and the mullahs came to power, this is a radical political party that in the end believes in the establishment of a traditional caliphate. So a radical Muslim polity that is beyond state borders, that controls all of the Middle East, and arguably for them, actually parts of Spain and Southern Europe as well. So this is the political party exists to recreate the caliphate because they believe that is God's will. And that can only be done if everybody else essentially works for them. And so they're deeply vested in this. What's interesting is, think of the old Persian Empire, but they're not all ethnically Persians. So, for example, about a third of Iran is Azeri. They're ethnically the same as the people in Azerbaijan. Iran butts up against Afghanistan. You think, well, they must get along, but actually, no. I mean, the Taliban and the Afghans and Iran have been traditional rivals, and so we have a radical regime that wants to expand its power and influence, but they're also very fragile. There's a lot of internal ethnic tensions. There's a lot of internal. The people of Iran actually don't like their radical government, which consists of basically political military suppression of the entire country. They don't have the capacity to fight back against these guys, but they hate them. And actually, the traditional Iranian culture, really going back to last century, is very pro-Western, would much rather engage with the United States, watch Western television, not be beaten to death for not wearing a hijab. So they're sitting on top of a country that really hates them. And so they have this kind of dual thing of having to suppress internal dissent to protect the revolution. They have to continually, like Stalin, be promoting revolution because it's their justification for both oppressing the people and for an aggressive foreign policy. So the crown does not rest easy on the head, but like a shark that has to keep swimming, otherwise it dies, right? They have to keep fighting for the revolution, otherwise they lose their purpose and integrity. And they fight for their revolution by oppressing their own people, by being a state sponsor. You have to remember, we think of like sponsoring terrorists or doing assassinations or something as kind of dirty business. Iranians see that as a legitimate component of their foreign policy.
Wow.
So state sponsorship of terrorists and having surrogates and playing people to attack and kill their enemies or assassinate their opponents, for them that's no different than going to the UN and taking a vote. It's part of their organic foreign policy. So that's why they're so dangerous. And then of course, this is why we worry about the nuclear piece, right? If Iran becomes a declared nuclear power, which the Biden administration has gotten pretty close to that, you have basically the crazy guy, also with a nuclear weapon.
Can I ask you? This will go a little bit long, but I can't not ask you about the implications of Zelensky visiting the White House right now. As you're walking us through the map and the geography of this conflict, Russia is right there, and Ukraine is right there, and we talk about nuclear war. The implications are huge, and there is a division, at least in the Republican Party, as to whether or not Ukraine should continue to be funded. And the Biden administration wants the money, and the Republicans in the House say we need to defend the border. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's kind of nonsensical that the Republicans should have to argue with their president to get him to defend our border, which is kind of nonsense, right? I actually think the divisions of the Republican Party are a larger reflection of a bad president as opposed to really Ukraine. Look, nothing gets easier if Russia conquers Ukraine. Nothing gets easier, nothing gets cheaper, nothing gets better. So we should all want a free and independent Ukraine. The United States should do its fair share. The Europeans should do a lot more. And we shouldn't have to bribe the President of the United States or threaten the President of the United States to stop doing foreign policy because he won't do the most fundamental thing, which is defend our own border. It's really nonsensical. And people that attack Republicans for holding things hostage to get the president to secure the border, I mean, this is like Sophie's Choice.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do? Say, okay, you can have my son, but then go ahead and take my daughter to the gas chamber? That's what Biden is asking the American people. Okay, we will defend Ukraine, probably in our interests. It's fine, but I'm not gonna protect the American people from terrorists and $500 billion in costs that go on the American people every day, or the likelihood that billions of people illegally come to the United States. Who the hell would stand for that? And how could you look at a politician in the eye if you had two children, and the politician was going to vote whether to save one and kill the other, and look at that politician and say, well, that's an okay choice. I mean, it's nonsense.
Biden says that he's put forth a plan for the border and the Republicans won't agree to it.
Biden put forth a plan. Too cute by half, right? His plan was to put a lot more people on the border, spend a lot more money on the border to bring people in illegally more efficiently, and pass that off as border security. And I mean, come on.
I had a basketball coach.
It poisoned the well, right?
I had a basketball coach
to the American people
one time who had us practice catching bad passes, and I thought maybe we should practice making good passes, and that's like
maybe
the equivalent of what it sounds like the president is doing. Jim, that's a great history lesson. We appreciate you giving that to us today, and look forward to talking to you each week.
Thanks for having me.
Talk to you soon. Jim Carafano is a senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. It's incredibly important, something that I need to even study much more than I do right now, the geography of that region, because you can't apply your understanding of life, of government, of power and authority and structure and laws. You can't apply the American understanding of all of those things, even as troubled as maybe it seems as though many of those things are right now, to the Middle East. They don't live the same type of, they don't have the same type of existence as we do. And the stakes are very high. And he's right. The Sophie's choice between the southern border and Ukraine funding, we can't choose one and leave the other. And I agree. Shame on President Biden for not meeting the needs of our southern border without having some sort of political battle waged by Republicans in the only branch of government that they barely have the majority in. We'll see what happens. Zelensky at the White House as we speak, making his pitch and his appeal. We'll see how that goes. Let's take a quick break. More Annie Frey Show right around the corner. Ryan will come back in here and we'll have the discussion. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube live, and in the live chat of the live broadcast right now, you can vote. You can leave a comment as well. Sheepdog says, I hope Joe's wife, Jill, will be more like Barbara Bush. She would not have let Bush 41 run if he was in the same condition as Joe. And Josh said, I think Annie's point about Biden withdrawing after pardoning Hunter assumes the current president has a sense of shame. He does not. Whew. Let's talk about it in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Smoke. Hey, yeah. We're just blowing smoke.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
Out here going broke.
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Yeah, we're just blowing smoke.
IGotFloor.com is the website. If you're looking to purchase flooring, I want you to check out the website for Michael's Flooring Outlet first and to give you the idea of what they're about. You can check the reviews that are there that will tell you what I'm telling you right now, which is this family-owned and operated St. Louis business is there to meet your needs, your flooring needs, the information that you need to research before you're ready to make a purchase. It's good to talk to people who are in the business specifically of a purchase like this. They know flooring. They live flooring, and they're going to make sure that they guide you through your flooring purchase so that you get what you want. It's a pretty big investment. You're going to be living on it in your home, likely, maybe in your place of business, and you want to make sure that you've covered all the bases, and you can get that done at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They have the beautiful Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line that gives you 3 times more individual fibers than ordinary nylon carpet. Each strand of Smart Strand silk carpet is packed with 700 silk-like stain-resistant fibers. Sounds like something needed in the Frey household because we make messes all the time. If I'm going to invest in flooring, Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to be my destination. They got 3 locations that you can check out. The reviews are there online as well, all at IGotFloor.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
The Annie Frey Show, 12 days of Cardinals mega giveaways.
Well, you're ready to win a weekend pack, 5 games. This 5-game pack features tickets to 5 weekend games, including matchups with the Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants, and more. Be the 15th caller. 15, number 15.
Jimmy Ballgame.
That's
All
Jim
right.
Edmonds.
And
for people like Ryan Wiggins,
wow,
who may not know who it
Jimmy
is.
Ballgame, that guy was born to be a baseball player.
And then Leah informed us that Randall Gritchick. Leah's
Because she's a big fan?
She's a big fan. She's a big fan of
Gritchick
Randall
fan.
Gritchick. Gritchick, if you're listening,
Who's
Leah
not
loves you.
a huge fan of Randall Gritchick? Tell us your favorite Randall Gritchick memory, Ryan.
Yeah, on the phone. You call and tell us your favorite memory. I got to give you the phone number. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the 15th caller.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Fall is here. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home when cold weather arrives. Get in your comfort zone with the heating system check. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman.
We're not talking about defunding the police like some people in the city were a year or two ago. But now what they're talking about is distract the police.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
They told me, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Rum-pum-pum-pum, yeah, I'm on the drum, yeah, I'm on the snare drum. Yeah, I'm on the beat, cause the beat goes dumb. And I only spit heat, cause I'm playing for the sun. Playing for the king, playing for the title. I'm surprised you didn't hear this in the Bible. I'm so tight, I might go psycho. Christmas time, so here's a recital. I'm so bad like Michael. I know I'm still young, but I go. Stupid, stupid, love like Cupid. I'm the drummer boy, so do. Little baby, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum. I am a poor boy too, ba-ra-pa-pum-pum.
All right. Randall Gritchick is upset with us. The
Yeah, we're
phones aren't
sorry,
The
Randall.
phones aren't working. We're postponing it and we're doing it again.
Yes.
So stop calling right now. I'm going to block the phone calls. Nobody has won. We'll do it again in the 2 o'clock hour.
Okay.
Trisha, can you please come here?
Any
Or
engineer
an
within the sound of our
engineer.
voice, let us know why the phone isn't working.
Nobody's calling. And then I called from my phone and it didn't work and people were, okay, I just put the phone number up and then I canceled it for right now. So just save that for later. 314-241-9797, which will be in the 2 o'clock hour. I'll tell you right now, we're going to try it again at 2:20.
Okay, let's do it.
We will re-hit the sounder and try to make it fair for everybody.
You hear that, Odyssey engineers? You got less than an hour.
Hey, yeah, Leah, go find Trisha or somebody and let's get on getting it a fix, if you could. The phones. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get the phones fixed.
Yeah, we got to get them fixed.
The YouTube live chat poll for today. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither? Ryan, what do you think?
I'm going to stick with what I've been saying for basically 2 years, which is that it will be Trump versus Biden. So I am a hard yes on this. Yes, it will be Trump versus Biden. I know that there's been a lot of talk, especially recently, and it looks like people are trying to push Biden out. And then you got the whole Trump and the lawsuits and everything. I still, despite all of that, think it's Trump versus Biden.
Why?
Because I think they both have the momentum. And it's so hard to stop a moving train
You
that
think
I
Joe
think,
Biden has the momentum?
not politically, but just being in office, it's
Like
hard to remove a sitting
Inertia.
president.
They send him off in one direction. It's really hard to get him to turn around.
Yeah, I know. No, I disagree with that. He turns around a lot. You called him a Roomba. I think that's a very, very good analogy.
I want to cite the comedian whose name I don't know who came up with that analogy.
Well, it's a very good one.
Brad?
I'm no Biden. I don't think Biden's the nominee.
So you think Trump is, though?
Yeah, I think I can see Trump being the nominee. I don't see a path for victory for any of the other people as we sit right now. So as we sit right now, Trump is the nominee for the Republicans. Joe Biden is not the nominee for the Democrats, and I think it's medically induced.
What?
And you?
No Biden.
Okay.
100% no Biden. He can't do it. His deterioration is rapid. And that's just Joe Biden being 81. That's not Joe Biden being 81 with World War III on the brink. That's not Joe Biden being 81 with, now we're talking about an economic slowdown, which implies that the economy is doing well. And it depends on who you talk and what they want you to think after you're done with the economic numbers. But they're talking about an economic slowdown. We are seeing unrest in our own country and the inability of one side of the Democratic Party and the other side of the Democratic Party to agree on the understanding of what genocide and calling for genocide is. And our southern border is under siege. Oh, and I would add, his son is going to go to jail for crimes that he committed, possibly. I disagree with Brad. I don't think it's medically induced. I think that he ends up pardoning Hunter. I don't think it's going to get that far. I mean, if Hunter Biden if Joe Biden pardons Hunter Biden, the way I understand it, the legal investigations would stop regarding the crimes that he would be pardoned for. The political investigations, which is what happens in the House, that wouldn't have to stop. And it wouldn't. But I've been under the thought process, the assumption, I don't know, Brad, for how long, but I've been under the assumption for a long time that it would come down to this moment in the last year and that whoever put him up, and I think we have an idea who that might have been, to be the guy who could beat Donald Trump from his basement, that when the time came that he was no longer useful to the apparatus, he would be told, okay, Joe, you're done. And then, as I think it was Josh commented before, that Hunter might get a pardon from Joe, but Joe would only step down if he had shame, and Joe Biden has no shame. I don't think that Joe Biden, I think that there are people who could ruin Joe Biden if they wanted to, and they can threaten that, and they could say, Joe, you can pardon Hunter, you can pardon your brother or whomever else might be involved in that case, and you can step down and we'll celebrate you, or you can keep trying to do it this way, and then we might have to take you down the hard way. That's what I assume. That's my prediction. Nobody's told me that. Those are the tea leaves that I see and how I feel as though it's going to unfold. I can't look at anything that Joe Biden has going for himself. There is nothing that Joe Biden has to campaign on outside of the fact that he's not Donald Trump. That might be enough for a lot of people, but I don't think it's enough for enough people. Because Joe Biden is not making life easier in America. People are trusting him less and less. His approval numbers are so far underwater. And it's not like, but things will change if he gets another 4 years. It's the deterioration is in place. People know what this is like. People personally understand what's going on with this president right now. And he can't be the guy. And so if the Democrat Party is abreast of that issue, they are not going to allow him to lose this election to Donald Trump, because I really do believe that the Democratic Party thinks that the worst thing that could happen is Donald Trump becomes president. I don't think that the worst thing to happen is Nikki Haley becomes president to the left, especially if you ask some people who don't support Nikki Haley on the right. I don't think that the worst thing that could happen to the left is Ron DeSantis. I think it's the second worst thing to Donald Trump at this point in time, which is why when you hear people talk about poll numbers, as useless as they are and as influential as they are created to be to try to persuade you to think a certain way about a certain person or a certain issue, when polled, DeSantis voters' second choice is Donald Trump. Nikki Haley's second choice is Ron DeSantis. Nikki Haley people don't go to Donald Trump. DeSantis people do. Which I think is an opportunity for Donald Trump to reflect upon that and understand that after he does win the primary, continuing to refer to Ron DeSantis as whatever lousy nickname that he has put together for him, it's not going to be what he needs to do to unify the party. Although I have never really seen Donald Trump care about unifying the party, which is what brings me pause. So if you think Joe Biden is the guy, what do you think it is, Ryan, that if it's going to be Trump v. Biden, that's your vote in this poll today, what is it about Joe Biden do you think that the Democrats want to stick with?
I don't think that they do want to stick with him. I think that they're just getting too late in the process. They're passing filing deadlines in certain states, and it's making it difficult. So it's not as if you couldn't come up with something really creative, but I think it gets harder and harder every day that goes by to do it definitely in the traditional way. Now, if you want to come up with some non-traditional way where at the convention he steps down and then you got to go through a different process, that's fine. I just think that these non-conventional ways are non-conventional for a reason. They're not easy to do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's non-conventional. If you look at 2020 and the way that election laws were changed in 2020, that was non-conventional ways of changing election laws, and it didn't stop them for a second.
There's nothing more conventional than replacing someone at a convention.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. And
that's just a side
note.
And that's the thing about it. Like, we act like they haven't manipulated the process to make sure that Hillary got the nod over Bernie Sanders or any of these other things within their own party. They change the rules all the time. The super delegates and all these other things. It wouldn't take anything for them. It wouldn't be hard at all to just replace Joe Biden on the ballot, no matter what. It would be so easy, and there wouldn't be a second thought about it, because the worst thing that can happen to them is Donald Trump becomes president again. They will pull out all the stops.
You said something interesting just now that I don't know that I've heard a lot of people say, Annie, about
conventions. I've never heard anyone say that before.
It was very, very clever. I never heard anybody talk about the argument that Joe Biden is making for 4 more years. Because that's his campaign promise, which he does not have right now. Nobody is going, oh, well, if we only gave him 4 more years, I would get blank. There's nothing. There's nothing in that blank.
That's the point.
And so you're right very much about his campaign.
What would Gavin
incredibly
Newsom do?
weak.
What would Gavin Newsom do with 4 years? Lord have mercy.
I don't want to know.
What would J.B. Pritzker do with 4 years? What would any of the other people who are, what would Kamala Harris do for 4 years? It's a shudder to think. They'd have stuff to do. They'd have plans. They'd further the green energy policy. Joe Biden is not Donald Trump, but so are a lot of other people. And if you look at polls, if either one of these individuals drop out, the other one gets trounced. So who blinks first? I think that there is enough in it for Joe Biden to deliver the pardon for his son. The Democrats will champion him. They're already doing it. I think they're setting us up for it. The loving father pardons his addict son. It's like a romance story for the media, who will lap it up, use it as a way to elevate the Biden family and the sacrifice that he's willing to make, sacrifice power for the love of his family. He'll go off into the sunset to a farm up north, maybe literally, and the Biden family, that's their send-off. They get their send-off. And then Gavin Newsom comes on the scene, and he'll say, I said I wasn't going to be the nominee, but, the status has changed. The situation is different. I wanted Joe Biden to be the guy, but I understand what he did for his family. I understand what he did for his son. And I think a lot of you would do the same thing for your son. And if the party is going to call on me and the American people are going to call on me to step in to this moment, I'll listen to the calling, and I am always eager to serve the people. Barf. And then he's the nominee. And Kamala Harris isn't. Kamala Harris is not the nominee either. That's not happening. You still think it's Trump Biden?
I do.
All right. Did you write it on an ornament?
I did.
I think you did.
Yeah.
If we actually shoot those, I'm shooting that one if that doesn't happen. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll do more predictions on our ornaments when we come back. We each put one ornament on the tree. A prediction for 2024, things that we think are going to happen. The last time I said that Biden drops out, I'm standing by that. Brian says it's Trump v. Biden. And what did you say?
I think Biden's not the president, or not the, or on the ornament?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Kamala becomes president.
This is all the things happening at once. Let us know what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We've got Ripper says, I voted yes because as of right now, that's how it looks. So he agrees with Ryan. Katie said, my preference is neither. I voted for no Biden because I cannot imagine that the Dems would leave him up there with such a bad record and low approval rating. Well, hope they do. Let us know what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Followers, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and they are a phone call away. I should say he's a phone call away, because when I say 314-324-4440, that's Stewie's cell phone number. That's his number, carries it in his pocket, and that's how he does business, the old-fashioned way, to make sure that when you are working with Stewie and Stewart's American Mortgage, you got a guy. You got the person in the business who is going to walk you through the whole process to make sure you get the best deal in the business. And that deal is called the bagel loan. When you work with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage and you get the bagel loan, you're going to be able to pay no closing costs either on your mortgage or your mortgage refinance. As rates have continued to come down a bit on those mortgage rates, maybe you need a refinance. If you got a rate in the last year or so, make sure you secure the opportunity to get that lower and to get rid of that higher interest rate that you've been paying. And it's going to save you a ton of money over the course of the years. And when you use the bagel loan, you don't pay any fees that other lenders charge you for in those closing costs. 314-324-4440. Call or text 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of...
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. If you get a new tablet or cell phone this year, recycle your old one, either by donation or an e-waste program. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
We were just talking about it. It's today's Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Get a gauge on what you think about this. Let us know what you think. Is it yes? Is it no Trump? Is it no Biden? Or is it neither of them? What do you think? Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll. It's 148. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Connect with the personalities and give your feedback. 97.1 FM Talk is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For content that's additional to the radio, join us there. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. So we previously last week we put, or 2 weeks ago I should say, we put some predictions on some ornaments. We're going to keep these ornaments in our office over the course of 2024 and see if any of our predictions came true. Do you have a prediction ready to go?
I have one locked and loaded.
All right, let's talk about yours first.
So my prediction is all the polls are bunk, and Ron DeSantis is going to win Iowa caucus.
There you go.
That's bold.
I like to live bold.
I like that we'll know the answer to that in the first couple of weeks of January.
Yeah, that's great.
I wanted to make this prediction, and I had to make sure that the Iowa caucus was going to be in January. So,
Yes, it is.
Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, as I understand it. So you think that he's going to win Iowa?
I think he's going to win.
What makes you think that?
I think it's close. I think that the polls, what we're seeing with the polls and all these national polls and all these things showing Donald Trump so far ahead is a narrative push. And they're all saying it.
Who's invested in Donald Trump? I mean, obviously Trump wants it to look good for him.
Trump wants it to look good, so he's going to push any polls out there that say that he's winning. The media loves them some Donald Trump to hate on, so they want Trump out in front. They want to talk about Trump. They don't want to talk about Ron DeSantis. They don't want to talk about Nikki Haley. They don't want to talk about anybody else in this race. And then Democrats want Donald Trump to be the nominee because they view Donald Trump as the most beatable candidate of the group.
You agree with that?
No. I don't think. I think that it would take a Herculean effort to manipulate that many polls that much. That doesn't mean that Ron DeSantis can't win that election. He could, or he could come in close.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying that Ron DeSantis wins the primary. I'm saying he's going to win Iowa.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying is about Iowa. I don't believe that I just there would have to be so many people in the bag for pushing the same narrative at all of these poll institutions that I just don't think that many could do that.
It's not so much people, like polls are persuasive tools. They're there to persuade people to think a certain way. The way the people that commission the polls are what you really need to know about what the poll's going to say. A Trump campaign public poll commissioned by the Trump campaign is going to show Donald Trump way out in front. A campaign commissioned by a Democrat operative that wants Donald Trump to be way out in front or to appear way out in front is going to show it. It's not that they all believe the same outcome is going to happen from it, but they all want Donald Trump as that. They're strange bedfellows, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm looking at the polls on RCP and their average, which is including probably the last three polls that go back as far as November 10th. There's an Iowa State Civics poll from November 10th to the 15th, a Trafalgar Group poll from 12/1 to 12/4, and then an NBC News Des Moines Register poll from 12/2 to 12/7. And it has him up 30.3 points, which is somewhere in the average of what he's been pretty much the whole year. It hasn't been that dramatic of a shift. In that poll, Trump is at 50, even. DeSantis at 19.7, Haley at 15.7. I wish that Ramaswamy and Chris Christie would drop out. I wish that that they would drop out. They are not contenders. It's hard to even argue that DeSantis and Haley are contenders, but I do think the Republican Party needs to formulate a plan B and have a decisive plan B. But we're talking about a scenario where, let's say Nikki Haley surges and becomes the formidable plan B. Donald Trump, something happens and he decides to step aside because he doesn't think that in the climate he's in that he can actually win the general election. I don't know, because he's in prison and states are saying you can't be on the ballot, which very well could be unconstitutional. But as we've seen with a lot of things that the Democrats have done, they just need to get the story in right before the election. And then we sort the details out later. Hunter Biden laptop. So if Haley surges and becomes the obvious plan B, at the convention, we're talking about the potential that they could just, on the Democrat side of the aisle, say, we're going to not put Biden up as the nominee. Of course, you could do that with the Republican Party as well. Lots of drama. I don't know what's going to happen. But it would be an enormous political upset if Ron DeSantis ends up winning in Iowa. People, I don't want to say people blindly follow Donald Trump, but it's very difficult for Donald Trump to lose the support of the people who just believe that he is getting screwed and they're tired of it, and he's got their vote, and he knows that. And that is good in a primary, not enough in a general. Most people make dramatic pivots once you get to the general. Maybe Donald Trump will. I'm not 100% sure. Do you have a prediction?
I do. It is a rather bold one. I don't know if it's as bold as DeSantis winning Iowa.
You win Iowa.
my ornament
Ryan
says
Wiggins
wins New Hampshire.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not even competing in Iowa.
Smart to put your money on New Hampshire, though.
Right, yeah, because there's too much.
Sununu endorsement, though.
I know. That was so sad for me this morning. I woke up very, very upset.
Mm-hmm.
My ornament is written. I'm going to hold it up. I might even add one more word to it, but right now it just says
Suckers.
Recession.
Says who, though?
That's what I wanted to add. Recession acknowledged.
By
because it would have to be acknowledged by the White House for it to be provable. Because we've already maybe hit one, and they were like, well, but the numbers.
Technically, that's the definition.
I would soften that prediction a little bit and not do White House, because, I mean,
they'll never.
They could be standing there on fire, and they'd be like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
No need to panic.
Yeah. You guys don't bring your water bottles in here. I'm fine. So maybe recession acknowledged. I'm having trouble figuring out who would have to
CNN.
acknowledge it. CNN. Okay, recession acknowledged.
A CNN contributor acknowledges recession.
Okay.
I hope that one's wrong.
I do too, but I just believe that that's going to happen.
Leah, you got a prediction for later? We'll share it later.
Okay.
You got one?
Not political, so it might be best to save it later.
We'll talk about it in 2 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Mark Cox here. Join me next spring on a beautiful trip to Italy. This is going to be great. We're going to fly into Rome. We are going to get on a bus and travel south to the Abbey of Monte Cassino, maybe Italy's best kept secret. It looks like something out of a picture book. We'll visit Puglia. We'll go to Caserta. We're going to spend several days in Sorrento. You'll have an opportunity to visit the ruins in Pompeii, and then Positano, which is on the Amalfi Coast and absolutely one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I can tell you, my wife and I have been there, and we can't wait to go back. You can even take a high-speed jet foil over to the Isle of Capri, which has some tremendous historic Roman ruins on it that you can visit while you're there. $53.67 a person. That includes your airfare from the St. Louis area. Call them toll-free at 888-733-9494. That's 888-733-9494 or conservativetours.com.
Has anyone ever taken the time to help you at a point in your life when you were in desperate need? How did that make you feel toward the person that helped you? The word gratitude comes to mind. Hi, I'm Martin Winslow, founder and president of Bethlehem Christian Academy. Through the years, I've met so many children that have gratitude toward those who helped them through their child sponsorships. Currently, BCA has 2,000 students spread over 4 countries, full of children filled with gratitude toward those who've helped them. But there continues to be great need. BCA's ministry is transforming lives by feeding and educating poor and orphan children in some of the poorest places in Africa and South Asia. Here's how you can help. For just $36 a month, you can offer these kids hope of a better future, but more importantly, give them the opportunity to learn about Jesus. You can also join us on a mission trip to one of our several school locations overseas and meet the child you sponsor. Remember that feeling of gratitude you had toward the person who helped you out? Wouldn't you like to pass that feeling on to someone else? To find out more about how you can get involved with BCA's ministry, please visit bcaministries.com. That's bcaministries.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Taking his case to lawmakers, I'm Tom Graham, Fox News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in Washington today. He's calling on Republicans to back President Biden's plan to send billions in additional aid to Kyiv as they continue to battle Russian forces. GOP leaders have called for changes to U.S. border security in exchange for sending more foreign aid.
Zelensky just wrapped up his meeting with House Speaker Mike Johnson, who made clear he's not budging on keeping the two tied together, and Republicans in the Senate that also met with Zelensky feel the same way. Today, Zelensky tried to win over hearts and minds, but also warned Congress if they don't give them cash fast, there could be major consequences. But Republicans really are hearing from the wrong president today. They don't want a meeting with President Zelensky as much as they want one with President Biden to hash out a border deal with major asylum policy changes. But all they've heard so far is crickets from the White House.
Fox's Hillary Vaughn. President Biden will hold his first in-person meeting with the families of Americans taken hostage by Hamas during its brutal attack on Israel in early October. It's not immediately clear how many families will be attending. Harvard deciding to keep Claudine Gay as their president despite pressure following her testimony at a House hearing on anti-Semitism. The Biden administration has remained largely silent on the issue at Harvard and other campuses like the University of Pennsylvania. Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
As pressure was mounting, Karine Jean-Pierre initially declined to say whether these university presidents should resign, citing their status as private institutions. And after Liz McGill resigned, a White House spokesperson declined to weigh in on, quote, personnel matters. The president did not mention McGill's resignation when he was in Philadelphia, UPenn's home, yesterday.
McGill stepped down as the University of Pennsylvania president after critics say she failed to strongly condemn calls for the genocide of Jews during a House hearing last week. America is listening to Fox News.
Untuckit has everything he needs this holiday season. Shop now and save big with our biggest sale of the year happening at untuckit.com or at any of the 80-plus Untuckit stores. Untuckit shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. He'll love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs, super soft flannels, or cozy sweaters. Get them while they last during our biggest sale of the year. Shop Untuckit's biggest sale of the year happening now at untuckit.com or at any of our over 80 stores.
Hey, St. Louis, brace yourself for the ultimate holiday deal with Consumer Cellular. Snag an incredible 50% off the Iris Flip when you buy before December 17th, making it only $34.50. The Iris Flip is all the phone and camera you need with a user-friendly design, the perfect flip phone companion. Plus, you'll get nationwide coverage and always free activation. Don't miss out. Head to one of our 4 retail locations in your area and seize this deal this holiday season.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Chilly times this afternoon, but not too bad. Kind of typical for this time of year. Plenty of sunshine, 52. Weak, dry, cool front coming by tonight, so there'll be more clouds around, but all is dry. 32 for the low. Wednesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. It's a little colder Wednesday with a northwest flow, 45. Dip it back to 28 Wednesday night, and Thursday, sunny and 49. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Tom Hoffman, president of Tom Hoffman Heating and Air Conditioning. I'll beat any competitor's price on a new furnace right now. Just call me, 314-471-7625.
Temperatures getting low, but demand remains high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts, my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Conservatives care, supporting SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Join us by attending the Give Back Trivia Night on January 5th, hosted by Mark Reardon, or donate at 971talk.com/events.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Who among you are real Christmas tree people?
Ooh,
like
me.
in practice.
Me.
You are?
Oh, yeah. We've got a real Christmas tree right now. I love it. I come home from work, and it smells like Christmas in my house.
What's it smell like in your house, Ryan?
It smells like plastic. Burning plastic a lot of
Chinese
times.
plastic.
Yeah.
I don't know. What does tinsel and garland smell like?
No, it smells okay. I mean, if you get past like the flies and stuff, like our house is pretty nice, but the tree issue is resolved. I have literally never had a real tree in my house, whether I was a kid or grown up.
Ever wanted one?
I'm curious now because people talk about the smell being so good.
You can't smell anyway,
but I can't.
though.
I don't have a great sense of smell, so I just wonder if it would even matter to me.
You might just need an air freshener.
Maybe I'll just do that. Yeah.
Put it near the tree and live in your own reality.
Little air freshener,
That'll
little
be your
fan.
truth, Ryan.
And I'll tell people that's a real tree. You can smell it.
Yeah. It's my truth. You can't take it away from me. Everyone goes, okay. Leah, do you guys do a real tree, fake tree? What do you do?
We normally do a real tree, and this is the first year we're doing a fake tree, just because we have not had time to go get it.
So it's just, that happens.
Yeah.
But we're still putting up decorations. I said this weekend, we have to get the decoration boxes and totes out. I don't care where they go, but we've got Christmas decorations everywhere. And their boxes are just sitting there. It's like hard. I said, we have to have at least a couple weeks of enjoying the decorations without seeing the totes that we're just going to put back in the stuff.
I am picturing right where you're at going, well, in a couple weeks, we're going to put these away,
Yes.
so I don't want to put the totes away.
Yes, there's a point where you don't You just cut your losses. And
Yeah.
you're like, just shove them to the side. Don't take them downstairs. I don't want to make 2 trips. But you have kids, so you make them do it.
You should resolve to keep your lights up and your decorations up then through February.
Nope. That's why we put them up early.
Mm.
I still am a stickler about them coming down at an appropriate time, which is the first nice day, usually after Christmas. Like,
Okay.
nice day. People magazine reported that a Kentucky family doesn't notice that there's a baby owl nesting in their living room's Christmas tree for 4 days.
Wow, no kidding.
A baby owl? That would be so cute.
That would be cute.
A little baby owl.
Doggone it. If that's not the cutest thing I've ever heard in my life.
And it would smell like pine.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't know that, though. It could smell like absolute dog crap, and I would be like, that is a cute owl.
Baby owls are cute. Very,
yeah.
like, exceptionally cute in the baby realm of cuteness. Baby owls are high up.
I'll go so far as to say that I think regular owls are kind of cute.
They're scary.
Man, I walked out.
You ever seen the, like, talons of a owl?
In this summer, maybe it was about August, we had a lawn chair sitting in our back porch.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a little, you haven't been inside my house much, have you? We have a little sunroom right there. And I walked out to the sunroom just to kind of see if that door was locked as our back door. And there was an owl right on that lawn chair. And it was.
Did it go like this?
It did. It looked right at me, and then I froze.
At 180 degrees? It's like something out of a horror movie?
Yeah, and it was shocking. That is a very large bird.
Did you say something to it?
I think
Did
that
you feel
I
you
just
need to
looked
greet
at
it?
it and thought, I'm supposed to react to this. And I
Did you
just
say,
sat there.
Who?
No, I did everything
Who,
but
me?
that. I said, what? And I said, how?
On first.
Why?
Why?
I have questions too. I have so many questions. Good talk.
Yeah, but he was kind of cute. I mean, after I got past the terror, he was a little bit cute.
Man.
Did you pet him?
He wouldn't let me.
How big?
I asked him. He was not quite as big as a human man, as you're implying.
The small man.
He was about as big as, I'd say 2 feet tall. He was a big bird.
Jeez.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
I was holding my dog when he was a puppy, and I stepped out on the back deck when it was, after dark.
And that owl snatched it up.
Just took him right away.
You guys are laughing. But I leaned over to say something to Terry, and I just leaned to my left, and I just heard bang, and I turned and looked, and this owl hit our house, hit the side of the house.
It's a warning shot.
I didn't hear it coming, and I have pretty good hearing. They're so quiet, but just moving to the left, I think it was going after my dog.
Was it a warning shot in that he was saying, you be careful with that dog or I'm going to keep flying into your house?
I think it was more of a like, that is delicious. Let me try some of that.
So he got off focus.
Yeah.
He was looking at something else and he went, ooh, that dog, bam.
It's just like one of those things where you accidentally move and the person misses. The owl missed. He was aiming for my dog, I think.
Okay. You know, one of the things that I would like to start doing
I have no idea.
is kind of doing a hybrid model where we don't get a fake tree, but we don't bring a real tree inside. We just use one of the existing trees outside and we put the presents out there.
I thought you were going to say we decorate. I'm like, people do that. It's called yard decorations.
We just decorate.
Maybe we can
I had a great idea.
put some lights on it.
That's going to change the game. We're going to put lights on it, maybe make them twinkle a little bit. People will come from miles around going, that's a good idea.
And instead of having them on during the day, we're only going to turn those lights on at dusk. People will be like, wow.
You want to take your family and put the presents outside under a tree?
That's just what I'm thinking.
So you can save $100?
I haven't run it past them, but I think it might be kind of fun.
I think you shouldn't run it past them. You should surprise them.
Okay. Yeah. Guess what, kids?
I think it's a great idea.
All the presents are out back under the maple.
Yeah, I would be like in my robe going, let me know how it goes.
Oh, looks like something got into the sausage ones.
If you find a baby owl in a tree in your home, how are you handling that situation? Because as cute as that little sucker probably is, I'm not being like, oh, come here. I'm not sticking my hand on that thing.
I don't know. I don't really know what a baby owl does.
Who gets it out of your house? You or your wife?
I think it's probably a family affair. Because I can guarantee you that my kids are freaking out and they are having a great time in holy terror trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
The chaos should be helpful for the baby owl.
Oh, yeah, the noise.
And I get it.
And the running around and the waving of the arms is probably not going to help the situation. But that is what would happen. So I would have to isolate the children first and say, you go into a different room.
Wife, I'll stay here with the kids and make sure they're safe.
I would probably say, well, all of you go to the other room. And then I would bust out some talents they didn't even know I had, and they can't see because they'd be away.
Talents or talons?
Talents. Not talons. No, I wouldn't fight the owl using its
they
own
don't know
methods.
that I have. Nobody knows.
Yeah. It's time. Talons emerge.
Like
and then you shoot right out of my chest. And then I start flying. And I have gotten that baby owl because it was my own. I will raise you in the way that I was raised as a man. It will be you and I, baby owl. You will be my second family.
Maybe the first.
We will live in the trees.
In the front yard.
In the front yard.
With the lights.
One thing I must teach you, baby owl. You must never turn the lights on during the day.
Waste
Only at night. We are a green family. You will be a part of it one day, once they accept you and me as our kind.
I need you to stop.
I was going to say that I don't have bird talons. I was going to say that I was going to bust out one of my many talents.
You could see why talons made more sense.
And I was going to call the owl. Oh, oh. And I was going to stand at the door. And when it came at me thinking I was its mom, which is not too far off the talon one, then I would duck. And it would
duck. I thought you were an owl.
And it flies right outside, and then I close that door. And I'm a hero. Either or, I'm a hero no matter what. That's what matters.
Is that the proof? Is that the geometric proof? I'm a hero no matter what. And then you just write down that story. I didn't know I was going to get a whole segment out of the owls.
No, I didn't either. Is there any more to the owl story? Like, how did they actually deal with it?
My question was just who gets the owl out of the house.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't realize that it would be that
Yeah.
that dramatic, and I haven't even asked Leah or Brad yet. Although I guess I'm saying I'm calling you. You're getting it out of my house.
I got multiple ways. But, we're open to other ideas, Leah.
I would probably have grabbed it myself just because that's...
Just with your hand?
Yeah, that's the kind of person I am.
Well, what else would she grab it with?
I don't know.
Tongs?
My
Yeah, I
talons.
think so. I'm not going to use my bare hand.
Tongs.
Your bare hand?
I mean, if it's little, like tiny, like the size of this ornament, and just...
Do you baby talk it, though?
Yes.
Come here, little guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Come here.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The owl's natural
The owl
instincts
goes,
kicked in.
"It
They
is
say,
not okay."
Sounds like my mom owl.
Brad, are you getting the owl out of the tree?
Yeah, I'm the one that gets the owl out of the tree.
I think I'm taking the whole tree outside.
That's a pretty good idea. I mean, I'd be worried about the nest
Better than
falling
Ryan's?
out. But yeah, not
what?
as entertaining, but
I think though the right decision is you just leave it because it's going to catch all the rodents.
What's happening in your home?
Yeah. What about when it grows?
Still, it
And
would probably
catches
catch
the
more.
extra children.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to just learn to live with the
he
owl.
said all the rodents.
Yeah, I do need to know what's going on in your home.
I think I know what it smells like now.
You guys have
He
like
doesn't.
regular floors and stuff, don't you? Because I still have dirt
floors.
Dirt floors.
You do not.
It's one of those older homes.
No, it's not.
No wonder Katie wants new floors.
It was built in 1980.
No, Katie doesn't want new floors. She just wants floors. Have her go to IGotFloor.com.
She's so spoiled. You guys spoil her.
Katie's first floors.
Put it on an ornament.
So man, what kind of floors do you have currently? She's like, dirt.
You know what's tough with dirt floors? Taking a shower.
I thought you were going to say something else.
When you get out,
Taking a
you were like, why did I even shower at all?
shower.
I'm just covered in mud now.
Just in the feet.
And you just get so mad at life. You curse the sky.
Do we did we fix the phones?
I don't know.
Is there anyone out there right now?
No.
Just look. No?
No, it's like an apocalypse out there.
All right. Do we need to move the thing?
Yeah, we can move it to the
245?
245 break.
All right. We got to make sure that the phones are working correctly so we can give away these Cardinals tickets. So we'll move it to 245. I don't really know where to go from here, so I think we should go to break. But I want to make sure that this doesn't fire. Just for future reference here, at 245, we're going to give away the Cardinal ticket pack, the 12-day of giveaway weekend pack. It's got 5 games featuring tickets to 5 weekend games, including matchups with the Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants, and more. At 245, we're going to be giving those away. So stay by your phone. When you hear the sounder, you have a chance to win. We'll be right back.
So what you trying to do to me? It's like we can't stop, we're enemies. And when we get low, we don't inside of you. Hey, you're like a drug that's killing me. I cut you out entirely. But I get so high, we don't inside of you. Yeah, you can start over, you can run free. You can find other fish in the sea. You can pretend it's meant to be, but you can't stay away from me. I can still hear you making that sound, taking me down, rolling on the ground. You can pretend that it was me, but no. Oh, baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, animals, like animals most. Baby, you think that you can hide. I can smell yourself from miles. Just like animals, animals, like animals most. Baby, I'm
TheDiamondShop.net. If you are looking for a beautiful, beautiful special piece, special gift this holiday season, do not sleep on the Diamond Shop. They're ready to visit with you, to talk with you, to learn about what you are looking for, and to pair you with a beautiful, beautiful piece of jewelry that fits your budget, that fits your ideals, what you have been looking for, who you're shopping for. They are the best when it comes to guiding you through this process. If you are looking for something that maybe you're going to pop a question maybe in the spring and you're a couple months away, they have 6 months, same as cash financing, which helps make those purchases a little more affordable, and they'll guide you through the whole process. Like I said, I have a wonderful set of pearls that my husband bought me from the Diamond Shop. I wear them on special occasions, and it means so much to me because it marked a special occasion in our life and a birthday in my life, and he went to the Diamond Shop, and they helped guide him on the perfect strand of pearls for me to be able to celebrate and remember that special time whenever I wear them. And I'm looking forward to passing them down in the future. They're that special. And you'll find something like that as well when you go into the Diamond Shop and get guided by the amazing staff that is there. You can learn more online at thediamondshop.net.
It's football season, and the NFL is in full effect on the free Odyssey app. We're heading into the final stretch of the regular season, and the playoff picture is starting to come into focus. Whatever team you're rooting for, the free Odyssey app has you covered with the local talk and your team's podcasts. Plus, listen to play-by-play of every Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night game from Westwood One. If you're looking for the NFL, it's all on the free Odyssey app. Download it today and search for your favorite team. That's AUDACY.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe, candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper. Try it on a made-from-scratch breakfast biscuit with egg and cheese, or with charbroiled Angus beef on a signature Frisco burger, or as its own salty sweet snack pack. Any time of day, candied bacon brings savory sweetness to all your favorite things. At Hardee's, goodness in the making. For a limited time at participating restaurants. Exclusions may apply by time of day.
Here, this beautiful, brand new senior living community is located just a half mile north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. It's a single-story community built by someone who has built resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take your visit right now. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Go online to WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
While no child should have to spend the holidays in the hospital,
There are many at SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital who will not be able to experience the joy of opening gifts around their tree. Please join 97.1 FM Talk and give the gift of hope and healing to Cardinal Glennon kids and support the Tree of Hope year-end giving campaign. Your gift ensures these brave patients can continue to receive the critical care they need during these challenging times. Thank you for giving at treeofhope.org.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $3,500 with double carrier cool cash rebates on a qualifying high-efficiency furnace or HVAC system. For details, get into your comfort zone, aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules.
As we near the end of this year, if you're looking for a new senior living community, check out Hampton Manor of Wentzville. Mark Cox here. This beautiful, brand new senior living community is located just a half mile north of the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. It's a single-story community built by someone who has built resort-style living without the resort-style price. Take your visit right now. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. Go online to wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
There are many ways to listen. Most choose radio. But have you tried streaming? Download the Odyssey app and you can stream 97.1 with one touch. Or try it touchless by telling your smart speaker to play it.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I've brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
We're still goodbying as long as you love me so. Let it snow.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither one of them. Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote and tell us what you think that might be. Let's see here. We did some predictions earlier in the show, and we wrote them down on ornaments. We're going to keep those ornaments and see if our predictions come true. And Ryan, your prediction was which?
Oh, hello, my prediction.
That it would snow. When was the first day? Leah's working the board for the first
let me
time.
tell you a little about my prediction.
And we're pretty excited about it. Some more than others. Hey, honestly, you could let that song play out.
Hey, I would have done it. It would have been fine. Let's go into a recession is what my prediction is.
Why are you talking like that?
Because that's the song. It was dictate. I was going to talk over the song.
You think that's how Michael Bublé orders food at McDonald's?
Who's dictate?
I'd like a quarter pounder and a McRib because it's just season for the McRib. Thank you very much. I'll have a side of fries with that. Make it small. Recession. I'm predicting a recession, and I'm predicting that the way that we will know is when CNN acknowledges it.
That's how you know it's bad.
I think we'll know it's before then.
But,
well,
we need a definitive.
Yeah.
It happened, because you originally said the White House acknowledges it. There's
Yeah.
no possible way that they do that.
The only way they do it is if the narrative's already 3 months past and they go, well, you know, now that we're coming out of this recession, you go, oh, you just acknowledged it for the first time when you said that it didn't really exist and we're coming out of it.
Leah, are
But
you
you're
ready to talk about yours?
It's really not that big a deal.
Well, you get to choose it, so we want to know.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal.
We're going to make it a big deal right now.
Well,
you
you
should
have
see
to
what we can do with owls.
Yep.
I'm even surprised.
Not even full-size owls.
You know, Barrett News Media. I got to get the thing right.
Oh, I'm looking forward to whatever this is.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. We got named the 7th best mid-market midday talk show in the country.
In the country?
I did not know that.
Barrett News Media. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And
Good job, Leah.
It's voted on
God, no.
by program directors across country and other people like that. Steve Moore voted on it.
So if you have a whole bunch
He
of
probably
program
voted.
directors,
It's an average. Yeah, I need to know what number he put me at. Let me ask him right now.
he put us at 7.
I say I need the over/under. 7, he'll be like right on the nose.
Yeah. You know what? They do a pretty good job, but there's some pretty good shows out there. So.
We made the top 20. The Facebook post that they tagged us in. Congratulations to these mid-sized market midday shows and stations on being ranked in the top 10 by radio industry executives. Number 7, the Annie Frey Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
That's awesome.
High five, team.
Yeah.
High
that
five.
one's going on the refrigerator.
I have to print out this Facebook post. So, what is your prediction?
Well, keeping the theme of being non-political, since the last time was about handstand push-ups, I said, and it depends on how I phrase this.
Didn't you last time predict that you wouldn't be able to do? Yeah, you like made us completely reconsider how we make New Year's resolutions.
Genius.
I think Leah's last time was that she wouldn't be able to do a handstand. Yeah, walking handstand.
Well,
so
this
smart.
one's a little more
It's
positive.
so smart.
All right, what do you got, Leah?
But when we got to talking about it, I was like, well, I said I will hopefully move out. But I
Living
said,
on your own?
Yes, based on
That is a huge one.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, based on.
Have you ever lived on your own?
No, I want to.
Brad, how old were you when you lived on your own for the first time?
I've never lived on my own.
You've never lived on your own?
Moved out of my parents' house, and my wife and I moved in, and
I think
how we started
she
life.
means out of your parents' house.
Yeah.
Well, I
Out of
do,
my
but that's
parents'
interesting
house.
too. I
Yeah,
know
out
other
of my
people who are
parents'
like
house
that.
and- yeah, and with my wife.
When did you get married?
2012. No. 2008. 2012.
Wow.
2012 was the heart attack. Leave me alone.
I always get those things confused too.
Some people think it's the same thing.
The heart was all aflutter.
The old ball and chain. Which one do you mean?
Isn't she sick at home today?
No, she is at home today because she took her mom to have cataract surgery.
Oh.
So
But she's at home.
yeah, she heard that. Leah, just go a peek at that chat over there,
Yeah,
and
she'll
she
be
will
there.
be making
2012. No, 2008.
Happy
mean
anniversary,
noises at
heart
me.
attack.
You know what? You really don't have to remember the year too terribly much. You have to remember the date.
The date. Yep.
That's true.
When did you move out for the first time? How
I
old were you?
was either 19 or 20 years old, and I moved into the dorms in Southern Illinois University, Carbondale. That was a big, big deal because I had lived at home the first 2 years of college and went to SIUE. And moving into those dorms, man.
After they kicked you out?
My parents?
No, SIUE.
My parents said, you need to leave. And I was like, well, SIUE won't have me, so.
That's not true, by the way. I feel bad saying that one.
It was crazy moving in because I moved in with a guy. I was in a non-smoking dorm. And the guy.
These are the days that have gone by.
Yeah.
A
yeah,
non-smoking
right.
dorm.
Right. So all
Which
the rest.
implies smoking dorms.
Yeah, these dorms were so old that they actually don't exist anymore in Carbondale. They were torn down about 5 or 6 years after we lived in them because they were so old. But they still were marked with smoking or non-smoking in these dorms. And so I was like, well, I need a non-smoking dorm. So they put me in one.
Like specifically.
Yeah, because of CF. And so the guy that I got roomed with, he got put into a non-smoking dorm because he was a smoker and his parents signed him up for that.
So he still smoked.
So he, knowing that I said, look, I really can't be around smoke because of my lung condition. And he's like, okay. So this guy took up chewing as a habit. And
That's really nice of him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a great sacrifice, I thought. And then our whole room was just old bottles
Cups
of soda
and spit.
Yes,
Oh.
filled with those things all the time because they're not the easiest things to dispose of.
That's not Dr. Pepper.
Why don't you just throw it away?
Well, that's what I told him, and he would say, "Oh, I know," and that was the end of the conversation.
What do you mean they're not the easiest things to dispose
Well,
of?
I think because they're so full, it's like throwing a full soda away sometimes if you're spitting in it all day. It's full of liquid.
I'm going to throw up.
I know, and they're disgusting.
Then you just throw it away.
Again, I'm not the one at fault here. This was Johnny B's fault. Johnny B was a nice guy, but he chewed and he left junk everywhere. And that's not to say that I was clean, because I wasn't. But that guy was even dirtier.
Sounds like a dream.
Yep. A dream
I didn't
is a
realize
wish your heart makes.
dorms were an option because I have lived in a dorm.
On your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah.
How long did you live there? Like for a semester or a year or something like that? A week?
Yeah.
Did you want to dip and your roommate wouldn't let you?
I didn't have
Come
a
on,
roommate.
man. Let me chew just a little bit.
But I went to 3 different colleges, and at one of them I stayed there for a year in a dorm, and the other one I only stayed for a semester.
Yeah.
So
Did you like living on your own at that point in time? Because that's with the roommate too, right?
I did, but I was not mature enough to live on my own.
Okay.
So that was very much a different time in my life.
I moved out and lived in a dorm my freshman year of college. And so I spent my freshman year in a dorm. My second year, my parents said, because they helped me live in a dorm, they made that possible for me, even though I lived very close to home. The second year, they're like, you can live on campus again, but you have to try to be an RA. So I applied for that and I got the position. So I was a resident assistant in Bluff Hall at SIUE, and I did that for a year. And it's like, there are people who are made to be RAs. I have a lot of those attributes, but I appear to be missing a few.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, you know the phrase, don't where you eat?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Don't live where you work. It's very difficult. By the end of the year, it's like there's no respite for getting away. Like, because if your duty calls, you have to answer it all the time for other people. And it was nice because my housing was paid for, which was a great compensation. But the amount of money that you make on top of that is very minimal. And so you have to go get another job. So it just felt like all work all the time. And so then I moved home after my sophomore year. And then by Christmas time, I needed to be on my own again. My parents probably needed me to be on my own again. So I got my own apartment. I do not understand how I afforded that. Do you ever look back on like those times in your life? Maybe, Brad, if you didn't incur that at a young age, I don't know how, like what you were doing for work or whatever. I was making $5 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The first job I had was $3.50. It might not have even been $3.50 an hour. I was a busser, and the servers were supposed to tip out 10% or something, and then the bussers that were there split the 10%. And those servers were not being honest with their tip out at all. I mean, I don't even think I was shaking out. I would get 2 weeks' pay, and it would be like $20.
Yeah.
For busing at PK's, which is a restaurant that I absolutely loved. I would eat PK's right now if I could, but this doesn't exist anymore. But when I go back and I think about trying to live with, paying rent and bills and stuff like that, like a grown up does, it was the sum total of the money that I made was what I got in my check went immediately out the door. Like I remember not having money to eat food, but somehow or another I managed. I think isn't that important to an extent though for people to kind of suffer in that way?
It is, because you start to realize the value of money and what it means to make money. But I think I kind of skipped that step because my parents covered my rent when I was in college.
Yeah.
And then I moved back home for probably a year and a half to 2 years until I got a job. And then I just bought a house.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until I bought a house that I started to realize not that you didn't know the value of money, because I had to work a job too. You had to have something to have some spending money. But once you start having to pay a mortgage, then things get pretty real pretty quick.
Rent.
Or rent, yeah. And for me, it was mortgage. And I thought, I'm going to do this because I want to invest in a house, not just pay to live in a house. And then I got roommates. So that's how I afforded to live in that house for the first year and a half.
I don't believe that there's any one right way. Like people will say, I'm going to pay for everything for my kid through college. People are going to say, I'm going to pay for nothing for my kid through college. You pay for some things, you pay for other things. I think the learning the value of money, it's very difficult for kids, especially if you're one of the younger kids in the series of children. If your parents are, in a position where they're earning, usually when the last kids are getting out of the house, the parents are at like peak earning. And if you compare the last child to grow up versus the first childhood, it's just an incredibly different existence that might be lived between those two children's lifespan. And if you grow up and you're in your high school years and your parents are doing really well, they might not really understand 15, 20 years ago that it was a paycheck to paycheck situation. And that isn't the case now. You graduate high school, your parents are doing well. They probably have less financial obligations because maybe the older kids are moved on and moved out. So there's more expendable money, there's more income coming in. And as a kid, you're kind of living a lifestyle at that point that is not yours. You are living somebody else's lifestyle and benefiting from the income that and success and time invested that maybe those parents have accumulated over the course of their careers. And then the kid has to go to college and shift into, okay, now I have to get myself to that point where I'm earning that. And I mean, you might be talking about your parents who are in your 50s or 60s. You are a long way away from the success that they've had. And I think that's a hard shift for people to make. And then when you add in social media to it, now all of a sudden you have a place to go talk to however many people who are going to listen, lament on how hard things are. It's always been hard. It's never really been easy. You don't just go to college and get thrown into a job that's going to be making you a significant amount of money. You got to work for it. You got to earn it. And then hopefully over the course of time, you better yourself on that. Our culture is so obsessed with immediacy that if you miss the struggle, if you don't experience the struggle and decide to beat the struggle for yourself, it's going to be hard to learn that lesson and value the success that comes after the struggle if you don't have the opportunity to learn it for yourself. And if, like I'm saying at the beginning of this, I think the struggle is different for every person. The means of a parent to help out, you want to help out as much as you can, but you probably also have to pull back. I'm not at this point as a parent yet, but I've been at that point as a child where the parents do have to pull back even if they have the means to help, because you need to separate and become your own independent entity. And that just becomes I think it's a difficult time, but it's very important as far as the formation of you as an independent adult, which what the kids call today is adulting. And it's yet another thing that they had to name and call it so that they could hashtag it.
Because it's always about social media.
It is. It always comes back to that now. Isn't that
It's
crazy?
almost as if that's reality.
My prediction for 2024, GOP wins the Senate. I am not predicting that we keep the House yet.
I like that.
But I think that we win the Senate. The map looks very good. I saw Donald Trump put something on his Truth Social that, it looks like the Democrats are really focusing on Missouri and Josh Hawley. They better be careful. And I thought, Hawley? I think Hawley's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a firebrand. So we'll see. But the Republicans have a very good shot, if they don't screw it up, to take the majority and maybe a few seat majority if they play their cards right and if things trend in the general direction they're going in right now. It's a very interesting conversation that isn't being had as much about whoever is on the top of that ticket, like our YouTube poll for today. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes or no Trump or no Biden, or neither of them will be on there. The effect that somebody replacing Donald Trump or somebody replacing Joe Biden will have down ticket in a scenario where the House is a couple seat majority, the Senate is a 1-seat majority with a lot of retirements. There's a lot of implication based on who's at the top of the ticket. And it's like, if it's Trump and Biden, status quo. If it's neither of them, probably status quo. If one of them goes, everything starts to change. Let us know what you think on the YouTube live chat poll in the comments. We will give you the results after this break. Stick around. Got something exciting right around the corner. Let's wrap it up here and stick around because we're going to give away some of those Cardinal tickets when we hit that sounder. Stick around. More Annie Frey Show in a minute.
For popping, the lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. As long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh,
STS Armory, online at sts-armory.com. If you are in the market for a new firearm and you need guidance or access, you go to STS Armory. They're going to take care of you. You walk in and you say hi to Katie and Jesse Johnson or the staff members at STS Armory. They are experts. They can help guide you. If you're looking for a new carry weapon, if you're looking for something for home defense, if you're looking for something for hunting, if you need ammunition, if you need accessories, if you need safes, you go to STS Armory and you talk to them about your needs. They're going to help pair you with a product that is right up your alley. Now, for Christmas presents right now, a wonderful, wonderful gift is a gift card to STS Armory. They have classes that can be taken by people who are looking to get their concealing carry license. You need to check out STS Armory for the best in education, the best classes. I have family members who have gone to these with STS Armory and they raved about them. If you're interested in any of this, you can call them directly at 618-931-GUNS. That's 618-931-GUNS. You can find them in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, or online at sts-armory.com.
Bet you didn't know.
Bet you didn't know.
Forest remulching. Missouri Brush Control can transform your overgrown acreage into accessible and usable land, and in a fraction of the time compared to conventional methods. Missouri Brush Control also cleans up around ponds, lakes, and dams, allowing easy access to your water feature. They service residential, commercial, and recreational properties with their specialized machines and years of expertise. Enjoy your land like you've always dreamed of. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com. That's MissouriBrushControl.com.
During open enrollment, it's crucial to carefully review and compare different plans to choose the one that best suits your needs. With the Pauley Agency, you're not just getting insurance, you're getting peace of mind. Visit thepaulieagency.com to learn more. Let us help tailor a plan just for you. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your health and those you care about with the Pauley Agency. Call 636-222-2149 or visit thepaulieagency.com for a free personalized quote today.
The Annie Frey Show, 12 days of Cardinals mega giveaways.
All right, here we go. The phone number is 314-241-9797. Be the 15th caller. You will win a 5-pack to weekend games. This 5-pack features tickets to 5 weekend games, including matchups with the Red Sox, Dodgers, Giants, and more. Be the 15th caller at 314-241-9797. We wish you the best of luck, and the phones are working and ringing now, so be the 12th, 15th caller, 314-241-9797.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms, Zero Res clean starting at $129. You can also get $50 off your air duct cleaning when you call 314-474-2020 or book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
The YouTube live chat poll of the day, will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? We've been talking about it today. We've shared our opinions. We want to know what you think. Will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Your options are yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither of them. Type in Annie Frey into YouTube, and the YouTube live chat poll will pop up there, and leave a comment and let us know. The time right now is 2:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
St. Charles County Executive Steve Ellman.
We're not talking about defunding the police like some people in the city were a year or two ago. But now what they're talking about is distract the police.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I hitched a ride with a vending machine repairman. He said he's been down this road more than twice. He was high on intellectualism. I've never been there, but the brochure looks nice. Jump in, let's go. Lay back, enjoy the show. Everybody gets high, everybody gets low. These are the days when anything goes. Every day is a winding road.
Welcome back to the Annie Annie Frey Show. Appreciate you being with us this Tuesday afternoon. Tomorrow, we are going to be over at Ruler Foods in St. Charles on West Clay Street, and it is our food drive. I am so excited to be in a position to come out and do this again. Ruler Foods has been so great. Ryan, you heard us talking a little bit earlier in the show. They gave us $1,000 to go shopping, and I decided I was going to let you do it again this year.
I'll have a fun time doing that because I shop there all the time, and you can get a lot of food with $1,000.
$1,000.
So, we will do that. We will focus on the best foods like peanut butter, like we did last year. That's good for food drives and box foods and canned goods and stuff like that. That's what they've been collecting. So we will do that tomorrow. I'm looking forward to being the guy that gets to do the supermarket sweep.
When you went last time, we had the person from the food bank go with you and guide you into, like, people bring in what they bring in, and whatever you bring in is fine. If you want to donate $10 to the thing and you want to go into Ruler Foods and buy $10 worth of goods right there, your money's going to go further that way also. So you can go shopping at Ruler Foods, or you can, I think what we're going to do is let people bring in, if they want to just make a quick cash donation, we're just going to add it to what you're going to go shopping for at 2 o'clock.
Okay. Wow, man, this is going to be pretty crazy because I think last year it was not. Well, we did that last year with the money people donated too.
Yeah.
But I think we're starting from a higher point this year.
Yeah, we got $1,000 of seed money from Ruler Foods to shop there at Ruler Foods.
So we just want to see you. This is why we go out into the community, is so that we can meet you in person. So come by, and if you do want to drop off a cash donation, that's cool. We'll shop for it right there that day. If not, drop a box of food in one of the boxes, either at that Ruler or wherever you shop.
What's your favorite thing? What is your Ruler Foods? What do you get there? You said you shop there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What are some Ruler Food staples?
Well, I get milk there almost exclusively. I get butter there. I get they have pretty good prices on produce, and I end up getting a lot of canned goods there too because they have such a good variety of green beans. This is really specific.
Yeah, it is. I asked.
My kids, one of the vegetables, as you know, like everybody's so picky.
Yeah, but once you find out what they'll eat, you just give it to them.
You kind of keep getting that thing. And with green beans, it's one of the vegetables that they will all eat well. And so they have 3 different varieties of green beans there. They have French style, regular cut, and Italian. And to me, Italian is the best. So I lean into that a little bit. But the kids like the variety because we eat so many green beans. So there's other stuff too, but they have their bread's usually priced very, very well at the one I go to. I think it's maybe 99 cents to $1.25. Their Kleenex are $1.25, which you almost can't beat anymore. So I always pick that stuff up. But it's a little different every time.
We get produce from them. My husband will make his famous guacamole from that as well. And we are huge fans of Ruler Foods. So join us tomorrow, Ruler Foods in St. Charles. And we'll be there from noon to 3 broadcasting live. So come on out, say hello. We would love to meet you. Bring some food to donate. Go shopping at Ruler Foods, and we'll clean out their shelves. We did that last year. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to be there, and if you show up, you'll get to see it for yourself. It's kind of all hands on deck because these days, in the past, I don't want to count our chickens, but they go pretty well, and that's because you guys show up. I don't want to count. The chickens go pretty well. Yeah. That's one of the first thing that goes, in fact. So, by the way, don't put chicken. Don't buy perishable food and put it in the box. Non-perishable food.
That'd be bad.
But these events go well, and it's we don't get to get out of the studio a whole lot. When we do, it's fun because we just get to shake hands with you and say hello.
YouTube live chat poll for today is: will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? Yes, no Trump, no Biden, or neither. I think it's no Biden, and I think Trump is going to be the guy. Ryan, your thought was?
Yeah, I'm still Trump versus Biden is a yes for sure. I think it's those two guys.
Do you have any thoughts, Leah, on the poll today? Any strong feeling one way or the other?
I don't have a strong feeling. I usually don't, but I'm gonna say no, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be. I feel like it would be Trump and somebody. I don't think it's gonna be Biden.
Okay, so you're a no Biden vote. That's what correct. I am as well. On the Annie Frey YouTube live, we have this up in the live chat. You can come vote there. We've got a couple minutes left before the show wraps up. Did you see that Tucker Carlson is launching his media network?
Yeah.
Listen to
They
this.
told you the guys torching Wendy's in 2020 were mostly peaceful. They said that masks worked. They told you the vax was safe. They tried to convince you that Russia blew up its own pipeline. The corporate media lied too much, and it killed them. We're driving to see Julian Assange.
Believe me when I tell you.
Wait. I should be boycotting Bud Light.
Fantastic job.
Thank you. That was amazing.
I think it's $72 a year is the number that I have in my head to get the Tucker Carlson network, I think it is. And I'll be interested to see the success that he has with this, because when he was fired from Fox News and we were talking about what happens next, I said this then and I'll say this now. If anybody can bring a wrecking ball to the media landscape as we know it, it's Tucker Carlson in this time, because he is such an enormous personality with an enormous following and enormous contacts across the globe that he can get the content that other people who are creating these types of networks haven't done yet. Like I subscribe to the Daily Wire because I wanted to see Lady Ballers. Highly recommend it. You need to go check it out if you haven't yet. And I think that Daily Wire deserves your subscription if you have the funds to spare, because what they're doing is creating an alternative, which in a capitalistic society is where we end up winning. But I'll be very curious to see if the Tucker Carlson thing, if it ends up working out.
Yeah, the minute I heard that news, I flashed back to when I think we all predicted, we did a YouTube poll about it, and I think we all predicted what we thought would happen. That was one of the options, was he starts his own network.
Yeah.
I think we were all anxiously awaiting to see if that would actually happen. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but it is happening.
But he's been churning out content. You got to make the content so that when you release the network, you've got something there for people to check out. So I'm very curious to see what happens. I'm going to have to start paring down my subscriptions, though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. But I think that might be one that I check out for myself. The YouTube live chat poll for today: will it be Trump versus Biden in 2024? 7% of you say no Trump. That is the last place. 12% say neither. Tied. 41% say yes, it will. 41% say no Biden. That's tied right now. I haven't edited it yet, so you might be able to be the deciding vote here if you join in the next, 20 seconds. All right, stick around. The Mark Reardon Show right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Next.
I like the chip I got in my front.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
Pajamagram's famous naturally nude pajamas are back. A very luxurious Christmas gift for her, one that'll make you a holiday hero. This year, Pajamagram has upped the ante. How about a free Barely There naturally nude nightie? How about $75 of savings? How about gift packaging options and quick delivery? That's an effortless 2-in-1 deluxe gift that you both are guaranteed to love. Soft and silky with a Barely There feel, curve caressing with a fit that's better than lingerie. Best-selling for a reason. Pajamagram's naturally nude pajamas and nightie are designed to make her feel amazing and drive you wild. Now is the time to win Christmas. Now is the time to go get your special someone naturally nude from Pajamagram. But hurry, this gift sells out every year. Shop now while it lasts. Head to pajamagram.com for naturally nude pajamas and save $75 on a free naturally nude nightie.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after